Good afternoon. It is 3:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Bridgestone Arena for the SEC basketball tournament. NFL free agency is officially open in the NFL as of 2 minutes ago. Some of the Titans moves made today. They signed wide receiver Van Jefferson to a one-year deal worth up to $2.5 million. Jefferson had 24 catches for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns last season in Pittsburgh. They also signed offensive lineman Blake Hance to a one-year $1.3 million deal. In NFL news today, just a few moments ago, it was reported that free agent quarterback Russell Wilson is scheduled to fly tonight to visit Cleveland and the Browns on Thursday before being scheduled to fly to New York on Thursday night to visit Friday with the Giants. Also today in the NFL, Commanders are re-signing quarterback Marcus Mariota to a one-year $8 million deal, and Rams have officially released former Offensive Player of the Year Cooper Kupp after not being able to find a trade partner for the star wide receiver. Update from the SEC tournament here at Bridgestone Arena. South Carolina falls to Arkansas 72-68. Jonas Adu with a double-double, posting 11, 14, and 11. Texas and Vanderbilt currently playing right now. I don't have the score in front of me. I will get that to you when 3HL begins. LSU and Mississippi State face off tonight starting at 6 p.m. Oklahoma and Georgia wrap up the day one of the tournament with an 8:30 p.m. tip. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up? Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City as we broadcast live in the concourse at Bridgestone Arena. The SEC tournament is underway. 3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. That's the new location. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Check them out, fergusonhome.com. Don Davenport is here, y'all.
What up? Let's go, party people. We are right here, section 118 on the main concourse. If you come out to the tourney, come on over and say hi to us. I see a bunch of little Vols right next to us getting the walking taco. They know what's up. They know what's up.
You're always talking about the Matrix, and that has come up several times today. So we are left of kind of where we normally are, and that's because they're selling alcohol in here for the first time ever at the SEC tournament in the concourse. Usually you would have to go up to the club level, finish it up there, then come back downstairs, and most people didn't even know about that.
Oh, I totally forgot this is the first time ever.
First time ever. So I'm like, why are we in front of Regions Bank, which is actually my bank? So you guys want to do lives? Let's go. But we're going to have to move. Like, today's the only day we'll be here because Regions will be here doing, their thing. But we had to move over to the left, which put us right next to the walking taco, which Davenport has been talking about forever.
I'm telling you, this is just right in my wheelhouse. I got walking taco right here.
Alcohol
the
right
bar
there.
to the right.
So
we're just golden, baby.
Where do you go with the walking taco? Do you go Fritos? Do you go Doritos? How do you pull that thing off?
Doritos.
All the time,
Doritos
no questions asked?
With beef, with cheese, sour cream, the works.
Can they do it without beans?
Lettuce. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. They literally rip open the bag and you say, this is what I want you to put in said bag.
I love seasoned ground beef. It's one of my favorite things ever.
And then you can walk with your taco.
Isn't that one of the best smells that ever is in your house? Is if you're browning ground beef?
I wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever browned ground beef in my entire life.
Look at Zeph.
Why are you looking at me that way?
You never cooked?
You're not on. Where's Kirby?
What did he just say?
Have you never cooked?
He said, have you never cooked?
Do you not know me?
Yeah, she's cooked one thing. She knows how to cook one thing, and she does it once a year.
I have cooked for my husband twice in our entire relationship.
And they have a 4-year-old.
And we have a 4-year-old.
Browning.
We've been married we've been together 7 years, right?
Yeah, 7
Browning ground beef is like the easiest thing you can do.
I like it.
Why the hell would I even do it? I don't cook anything. No, I'm
Travis cooks.
My husband cooks. That's why. No, the easiest thing is the crock pot because those are the 2 meals I have made for my family little pot roast. In
yeah.
the crock pot. And the only reason that I did it is because I lost 2 bets. And that was my payment for my lost bets was I had to cook dinner.
Does Hadley eat the
Hallie doesn't eat any of that.
pot roast? No.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you got your walking taco
Anyway,
there.
so there you go.
So then we were talking with Jim Wyatt
Don't
yesterday.
judge me.
I'm judging.
We were talking with Jim Wyatt yesterday about Albert Haynesworth's contract and how all that went down. And Jimmy said, free agency started at 12:01. Haynesworth was in his contract year. He had in my opinion, I've said this since then, the best defensive tackle in the history of the game season. And
Contract year will do that.
Yeah, and so
I won't say that to him in person, but
I will.
Okay, good.
I have. He knows it. And then he goes to a team like Washington signs him for $100 million, which was, a bag back then. It still is, but not like back then. When was that? 2009, 8,
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And anyway, so Washington signs him to that massive deal. They run a 3-4. He was a 4-3 defensive tackle.
Completely the wrong fit.
Right. So he wasn't
And
asked.
he'll tell you that.
Yeah, he wasn't asked to get up the field. He was asked to hold blocks. And it was a completely different thing in a weird situation. Anyway, that contract went down at 3:47 a.m. That's when Jim Wyatt broke the story, 3:47 a.m. And so we talked about that yesterday, and Don's Matrix theory in full effect today at the SEC tournament. Haynesworth walked by a minute ago. And he had one of his kids with him, and I'm like, what are y'all up to? And he said, little man loves basketball. So
Aww.
I figured we'd come watch some basketball. And I'm like, all right, you want to pop up after the games? He's like, yep. So he's coming on.
Good.
I don't know what time. Whenever
we can ask him about that. We can relive that.
Oh, yeah. And, imagine if you were playing now, you know what I mean? Like, how much money you would be making.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when the Vandy game ends, that's when Albert Haynesworth will come on. Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, will come on at 3:20. A lot going on here at the SEC basketball tournament. Arkansas led South Carolina by 17 points. Zeph and I went on a walkabout around the Bridgestone Arena. We ended up in the Lexus Lounge, which Zeph said he'd never been there.
Oh.
So we talked with our guy, Kimbrough Dunlap. While we were talking with him, big Tennessee guy, used to own a company called American Cellular, and they did great work and sold the business. Congrats to Kimbrough. That was a long time ago. But anyway, so we were standing there, and Slay walked by. And so we talked to Slay for a second, and then Shooter walked by. Pat Bradley. And
He's
so
the
I
best.
yelled, Shooter. And he looked at me. He's like, what's up, man? Like you would say to somebody you don't know. And I'm like, I'm on Slay's show. He's like, oh, right.
Shooter.
So they're doing it. Can you believe Jay Billis is doing Wednesday games on the SEC Network? Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. So the SEC Network crew gets kicked out of broadcasting games because the ESPN #1 crew is here on a Wednesday.
Straight booted.
That's how much this event has changed.
I will say this, being here this year on a Wednesday, it's jumping.
I mean, packed
Did you
in there.
guys see what
It's packed in
tickets
there.
were going for the Tennessee game on Friday?
I heard-
Lower level?
I heard someone said 1,200.
Yep.
Woo!
For
I had
a
a-
single game, not a session.
I had a buddy who... No, I think it's the morning session.
Yeah, it's a
right?
session.
It's
You get
the
both
morning
games.
session. Yeah, I
You
had a
can't buy just
buddy
one game.
who was like, "Hey, is there any way you can get me tickets?" I'm like, "No, not this year. You would have asked me last year. Could have helped you out, but not this year."
Well-
ended up having to pay $800 a piece for that session.
See, I mean, I love the event, but paying that much money where you don't even know, like, if the team really cares about winning. Of course,
Right.
Of course, they want to win. You know what I'm saying? But
No, but it's true.
But yeah, I mean, like Chris Beard today, he told his team the goal is to improve their seeding. That's what their goal is here.
Okay.
He
well,
said
you
because-
have to win to do that.
Right, but he said nothing about winning the SEC championship. He said the party is the NCAA tournament, and he goes, I told my
That's a
team,
big dance.
do you want to walk through the front door of the party or through the side door?
You want to be on the red carpet, or you want to go have to sneak in the side?
Yeah. In other words,
What a
like,
great
hey, dude,
ana-
you're solidly in the
comparison.
NCAA tournament, or, hey, man, yeah, y'all are in. Congratulations. Like, you snuck in.
Okay, but that attitude means you want to win. What
You wanna
about
win
these
games.
teams that aren't going to improve their seeding?
Right. Like, so let's talk about the
That's what's gonna be
double bye
interesting.
teams.
Exactly.
Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee.
Like Auburn, you're a 1 seed.
How much does it benefit them to play 3 games in 3 days
I don't
when
think
you're
it
just going to
does.
have to play again on Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
I mean, if you win it, yes. Like, if you get to Sunday, you're trying to win. But that's a grind, 3 games in 3 days. Or, you don't want to lose, but if you lose, you're like, okay, let's go home and rest and get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so somebody's going to pay $1,200 for tickets for that? That is...
I mean, you're also you're
That's
hoping
amazing.
that these teams think it's important to be a conference champion.
Well, and I think the other part of that is, like, once you get to playing, man, but it's like, watch coaches in the rotations, okay?
Right.
That's how you'll be able to tell what's going on a little bit. But, yes, they'll physically try to win games. There's no question. By the way, I heard that Jael said all I do is laugh. Is that what he said? I'm here for the entertainment, and all I do is laugh.
Yeah.
I will never apologize for having a good time. You get one life. How do you want to go through it? What are you showing me?
Evan Ingram to the Broncos on a 2-year deal. Bo
Evan
gets
Ingram.
a new target.
Dude, look at that guy's numbers against the Titans in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone.
It's ugly.
I am glad he's
And he
gone.
was on the Giants before the Jags.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Hey, do you want to... Oh, I have no idea.
He said there's room at the table for sad
yeah.
Titans fans.
Slay's somewhere sitting in the corner. You want a 3HL sticker? There you go.
Oh, yeah, we do have stickers and koozies nowadays.
Yeah, come by and see us. Again, Dawn said we're at section 118, which is true. And if you come in the front door of the building, go to the left, past the grilled cheesery, Rotiers, Christy Cookie, Icy, the bar, and then us. If you come in from Sobro, just walk straight. Just keep walking straight. We're on the right past the Walking Taco. We've got lots to get into. Lots of Titans news. They signed a receiver today, 615-737-1045. Also, potentially in on a very well-known receiver. And maybe some quarterback news. All that coming up. Stay tuned. Coach Mack next. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere with Xfinity? You can do more of what you love in the places you go most with internet and mobile together. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi power boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Get the same reliable network in the places you need it the most, like at the coffee shop, in line at the grocery store, or at the game. All to power more of what you love, whether you're a gamer, streaming, or working from home. Whether you're into whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile together. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how you can get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes and fees are extra. After the promotion, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary. 3HL 104.5 The Zone, Britt Doherty, Don Davenport. Zeph Dog is producing and doing Zone TV. Kirby's standing here. Eggy Bob's got headphones on. And he's in his phone all day long. We did see, Babs, we saw Tavondre Sweat walk by. And he's a large human, even outside of his football uniform.
And he is so sweet, and he has the biggest smile, and he just has this mouthful of braces, and he's the best.
He's so sweet, is that what you said?
Yes, he really is. He, because I had spoken to him because I worked Texas the first game of the year for ESPN. I don't know if you remember. And so Sark and the coaching staff, they were all asking about him. How's he doing? Blah, blah, blah. And so I talked to him at training camp and was telling him all about that. And his smile's contagious. He's like the sweetest, biggest guy ever. He is clearly here to watch his Texas Longhorns.
Well, and the interesting thing about him is today that he's not wearing Texas gear, but he is here to cheer them on.
No, he's in a red shirt of all things.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a lot of red crimson teams around here. You shouldn't be sporting that nasty, ugly color.
Yep. Texas leading Vanderbilt 21-13 last time we looked.
He said he would swing by after the game. I'm not betting on it, but
can you imagine?
You never know.
Because Albert Haynesworth's coming by. If we had Albert Haynesworth and Tavondre Sweat on at the same time,
we would look miniature. You're not
good.
Miniature.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
No, I'm saying you're like 6'2".
Yeah, I used to be. Coach Mack joins us now on 3HL. Thanks to our friends at Two Rivers Ford. Coach Mack, what's up? How are you?
Well, there's a lot up. I mean, Two Rivers Ford, I just got through getting my car, my vehicle delivered back at that mobile service. Dawn, that stuff is amazing. It really is. I missed you guys at the station today. I had to go up there with Rhett and record some stuff, getting ready for the draft. And so, I called Tammy Jacobs there at Two Rivers Ford, and they set it up. By the time I got through recording, they were on their way back with the vehicle. They're amazing. Two Rivers Ford mobile service, that's the best ever.
It is. They, Coach Mack, they actually come out to my house. Take care of it in my own driveway.
And I don't think people listen to us when we talk enough about that. It is so legit. I mean, anyway, hey, it's hard to miss Big T Sweat.
I know. Is he going to get any help?
Well, he's already got help. They need help on the edge. He's got help, but Big T Sweat put a lot of worries to the side with the way he handled his rookie season. I've got no issue with him. If you've got Big Albert and T Sweat there at the same time, you may not need anybody to rush off the edge. You two could just stand there.
I'll tell you this, man. Al looks great. He looks absolutely great, and he had that major health scare not terribly long ago.
Oh, I know.
I
know. You're right, Ben. I talked to Albert quite a bit. I tell you, those 2 years that we had him here when he was on those two back-to-back one year shots, he was the best defensive tackle in football.
He literally was picking people up and throwing them at the quarterback. I mean, it was that severe.
Well, not only that, I mean, he and Jim Washburn were a beautiful, beautiful pair. A beautiful pair.
Were you surprised at T Sweat's rookie season? Like when you look back and see how he played and what he was able to accomplish and how he was able to help the team. I just was thinking about the offseason where they wouldn't let him on the field. You know what I mean? And like he went from
and the
that,
question marks about his.
There were all kinds of question marks, and they went from that to
training.
a really destructive rookie season.
You know what, Brent? And it's a legitimate point, but until I got to know him when he got here, I of course asked the personnel people, about him and the coaches, and they never did. They never did have a worry. I talked to Tracy Rocker, and he never had a worry. I talked with Bernard about him and Frank Bush. They never had a worry about him, because. And again, you know the story of when the whole group went down to Huntsville, Texas, to visit with him. And until I met the guy, you could just tell he was serious about his business, and he also understood the impact that first year was going to have on his impression in the league. He did everything that he was asked to do, and he was consistent with it. I was just waiting to see, because I've been doing this long enough to know And until you show me, I'm not going to buy all completely in. He completely won me over.
I don't know if you saw yesterday. We were on the air when the news came down about NWI going to Miami. And Dawn had a kind of an adverse reaction to that. Almost like, she got poison ivy and just started dancing around and stuff. She loved NWI. What was your reaction when you got that? Now I know you're kind of desensitized in that world, but I'm just curious what your reaction was when NWI left.
It didn't surprise me because, look, that decision wasn't just made yesterday. I mean, those decisions are made. That's the first thing you do when you're a new group coming in is you go over the people that are on your roster, the people that have a chance to be free from your roster. And so, I mean, they made that decision quite a while ago. And I'm sure they gave that decision to his representation. He didn't just find out about that yesterday. So, look, this business, especially this time of year, guys, nothing surprises me because unless you're in the room and unless you're in those decision-making meetings, you really don't know what the result's going to be until it's presented to the public. And look, I'm as close as anybody could. I could go in there and ask. I don't. Because I know when I was in that situation, I wouldn't respond to anybody that would ask because you don't broadcast your business like that. But did it surprise me? Not really, because at this time of year, you got to be ready for any and everything.
Yeah, you always talk about turning the roster, and so you if you're in the import-export business, which NFL teams are this time of year, so you export. NWI, you import Van Jefferson, who grew up here. His dad, Sean Jefferson, was wide receivers coach with the Titans, now with the Jets, I think. But kind of a cool story there where a guy gets to come play pro football where he grew up, and he played at Ravenwood High School, for those that don't know.
Yeah, and I remember him at Ravenwood because I know his dad, very well.
Yeah,
and I mean,
yeah.
But here's something that had to happen before that could happen. He had to produce early on in his career. I mean, he hasn't been an empty chair in his career either. And look, NWI wasn't an empty chair either. So to me, if you trade in and you trade out in this business, especially at this time of year, guys, this time of year is completely different. It's completely different than betting the draft, which I'm deep into right now. It's completely different than any other talent acquisition period because you've only got a limited amount of time to be able to make offers and to either have offers accepted or rescinded, and you've got to move on. So did it surprise me? No. Did I think that NWI did everything that he could, given the chances that he had here? Absolutely.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL, presented by Two Rivers Ford. What do you think about Van Jefferson, the player? Because when you look through his career, he's only had 3 seasons where he's played all of the games. But that second year with the Rams, I want to go back to that year. 50 receptions, 802 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Is that what he can be?
Well, that's what he was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to procrastinate a little bit in this business and project a little bit, but that's what he has done. That's what he has done, and now let's see what he can do with this opportunity that he has here. But you absolutely have some evidence of what he has done in the league, and that's all you can go on, those free agents.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL.
Did you coach with Van's dad? I'm trying to remember.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not coach with him. I
couldn't remember the timing of everything.
Well, yeah, Don, we didn't cross paths coaching wise. I mean, but I know him from in the business, and I know one thing: if he raised that son like he coaches, then he was raised right.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of that, like how different are players that have coaches' dads at that level? Do you know what I mean? I look at some of the college kids.
That's a very legitimate question, and it's a viable question because it's real. It is completely real because, and especially when you get to this level of this league, one of the biggest problems young players have coming into this league is regardless of how much swag they think they have, if they've never been really exposed to an NFL locker room or NFL daily life, it's different for them. Those kids that have been raised in the business like he was, like a lot of these young players are, but if it looked like the head coach was raised in this league with
Right.
his dad. It's a different. They're not as wide-eyed as the other people that come in that have not been raised around this environment. Because
Yeah.
as both of you know, and our listeners know, it's different.
No doubt. And shoot, I mean, a guy like Van Jefferson might be a reason why he's been able to kind of stick in the league and get deals. You know what I mean? So,
You know, Don, and that's 100% right. Because, I mean, all of that stuff matters. And really, the quicker that you can acclimate yourself to the league, the better chance you have of staying more than 1 year. And that really, really is a good point. And that makes a difference.
yeah, knowing how to do the dirty stuff, knowing how to prep, all of that. All right, Coach.
And wait a minute. And knowing that when you're asked to do that dirty stuff, it's not anything different than anybody else has ever been asked to do because you've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about this offensive line. Obviously, with the Titans signing Dan Moore, I mean, the obvious thing is that he's going to step in there at left tackle. That is where he was played. There are many reports he is not a right side guy, which means it looks like the Titans are going to move J.C. Latham over to the right side. Your take on that, and how do you think Latham kind of held up on the left side and will do moving back to the right?
Well, I think it makes the line better, and it makes the line better from edge to edge. I mean, look, you've got a viable NFL starter coming in that's been a left tackle that's played a lot of snaps at left tackle at a place where, you know, they emphasize offensive line play. You know it, and I know it, what the Steelers are. But to me, I mean, it just helps you. It helps. Now all of a sudden, you get Cushionberry back. At least you've got 4 spots now that you feel decent about. I mean, I'm sure there's still work to do with that right guard spot. I don't know what they're going to do with it. But J.C. Latham moving to the right side, that part of it, rather than coming into the left side his first year, that part of it will be like riding a bicycle to him. I mean, I think it's a good move.
We were at the Super Bowl, Radio Row, and
Yeah.
Don, we had, who was it, Baldy and Ross Tucker? Mm-hmm. And Coach, both of them said that J.C. Latham is a mauler. He's not a prototypical left tackle now. That left tackles are gliders, and he's not a glider. He's a big physical beast that mauls people and would do better on the right side. But both of them said, but you don't have anything on the left side, so he's got to play there. And so they kind of put that thought in our head, right, Babs, about if they can find a left tackle, they'll move him to right, and that's exactly what they did.
And is that something you think that the Titans recognized last year? They just didn't have any other options at that point to move him?
He was the best option. He was the best tackle they had. He was the best tackle they had, and rightfully so. I mean, he's a very talented dude, but, I mean, and I love Baldy. I love both of those guys you talk about because they, you know, this isn't their first time at it either. They understand what's going on. But his demeanor and what he, as I said, moving to the right side, his offensive line got better on the edges, and that's really, really important. Now, if they can get that right guard kicked, at least 5 across, they're giving themselves a chance. And you know what most people are doing in this league anyway? They're trying to find guys that have tackle feet and then be able to slot them into all of those spots because that's the way the league's going.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL. All right, inside linebacker Cody Barton. What do you know about him? The one thing that intrigued me about what I read about him is that he was on the field for almost all of the pass snap reps on defense.
Yeah, well, look, I remember him coming out of Utah, and I went back and, I've got all these notebooks from all these combine and drafts that I've done, handwritten stuff, because I like doing it like that better to begin with before I put it on spreadsheets and all that stuff. Anywho, I remember betting him coming out. The thing I liked about him at the combine, the thing I always look for, guys, really, really quick in the linebackers, it's not so much their long speed. I don't look for a guy that's 4'9", but anybody else, but their short area quickness and their transition and their start to stop. He had an excellent 3-cone. I remember that there that I like. And plus, he's a good K&D guy. He's a really good key and diagnose guy. That's why he's been play a lot of snaps early on in his career. He's a guy that understands how to play there. behind the ball. He's got the right eye set as far as to play behind the ball because you can tell that he knows where to put his eyes. It's a good pickup, which you had to have there. They've got a couple of young guys there that are still in developmental stage, but they needed a guy that's played in this league, and he had.
Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, with his weekly drop on 3HL at 3:20. Appreciate you, Coach.
Guys, always appreciate you. Where's Slay? Is he out running through warm-ups, or what's he doing?
I saw him, man. He's got an incredible suit on with like a green tie. And
he's looking sharp today.
He's looking sharp.
Let me tell you something. When Slay first started, it wasn't like somebody dressed him really well coming out of the house. But now, that dude looks good.
Yeah.
He's got it put together now. And I tell you one thing, guys. I think we all know this. As much as we love Slay, whatever he's doing with the microphone, when he's doing basketball, especially SEC basketball, that is in his wheelhouse.
Oh, it's great. And, our buddy John Street is who dresses him out the house. So we appreciate John. Thank you, Coach. Good stuff, man.
See you guys. Enjoy the tournament. See you.
All right.
Mack.
I just look. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
A lot of people on the YouTube feed, and I just looked at our feed, and we've got the big green Regions Bank logo behind us. And I'm not sure how I feel about, like, what this set looks like, just coloring-wise for us.
Well, also the word loud
is right behind
is
us.
Basically just right behind us, and that's all you can see. And I'm not sure that could be any more appropriate, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we are that. Broadcasted live at the SEC tournament inside the concourse area in outside gate 118, or section 118, I should say. Again, Albert Haynesworth is going to pop up here after the Vanderbilt game. Texas leading Vanderbilt 31-19. 2:41 left in the first half. We've got more 3HL. What do you think about NWI leaving, Van Jefferson coming in? Rumors are out there that the Titans are in it for Cooper Kupp. Ben Volen reports that the Titans are in it for Carson Wentz at quarterback. 615-737-1045.
What's happening, good people? KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Head over there, get that information about your body. You probably like aches and pains. Yeah, I was just going to take a leave or Advil or something to get inflammation out of your body, but you're going to be doing it over and over and over and over and over again. That stuff, man, eats at you internally, and you already have the cure inside of you. All you got to do is harvest it. That's right. Your body, your cells, your solution. Harvest your body's stem cells and store them for future and continued use. Now, these cells are your body's healing cells, harvested and redeployed based on your needs. Stem cells attack inflammation in the body, and we know that all autoimmune disorders are derived from inflammation, whether it's congestive heart failure, lung issues, arthritis, autism. Either one, it doesn't matter. 615-850-4415. That's the number you need to hit up. 615-850-4415. Talk to Dr. Kellum directly. Sit down with him. Only can do that at KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine to Miami. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Broadcasting live from the SEC tournament inside the concourse. Outside gate, section 118. Never know who's going to walk by. Will Bowling sitting down at the table.
What's going on?
What up?
How we doing?
You got the fam with you here.
I know.
You got the fiance.
The inside cat has been let outside.
This is a lot of pressure.
I know.
You have to do well in front of
My
your
dad, my sister, my fiance, all just in person. Eki Bop looking at me. He usually just listens. I can't see him, but yeah, I know. Good to be here. What's going on?
What did you tweet the other day that I wanted to go at you about?
I tweet a lot of stupid things, Don. I really don't know.
I love that you're here with a Tennessee shirt on.
I'm wearing a
Tennessee
UT shirt.
doesn't
I'm
play
representing
until Friday.
the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, established in 1794.
Expect anything less?
No, yeah, of course not. So I am in
Even
a wedding.
though they don't play?
I'm in a wedding for one of my best friends in the world this weekend. Shout out Mason and the Bergen family; they listen all the time. And so I will be in wedding duties Friday, Saturday. So we're here today, tomorrow with the family. So usually I'm like neutral colors with some kind of Tennessee logo. Since I will not be here to see the Vols, I'll be full orange tomorrow. So I'm more muted today. But that's
Don Davenport's reaction to NWI going to Miami was like somebody died.
it was really good.
Where do you come down on that whole thing?
It's look, it is sad for Titans fans that we are so upset about a fourth wide receiver and a punter leaving, because that tells you
I don't care about the punter.
Here's the thing though, like those are the people and the players we've had to become attached to, because there have been few talented cornerstone pieces on this roster. I don't blame anybody.
Because
I feel the same way. Yeah, like we don't have players to take ownership of that we feel like are ours. And Nick Westbrook-Ikhine was one of them, honestly. Like it is very disappointing the way it all went down.
But this is why, and this is what I am trying to explain to these people on Twitter that are like, what's wrong with you? It's NWI. You have issues.
Great place
this
for
is
reasonable
stupid.
debate, Twitter.com.
Yeah, you're dumb, whatever.
When it's working.
It's the big picture of it for the Titans,
Well,
right?
I mean, it's draft, develop, retain, and they didn't retain one of the few guys that you'd actually want to retain.
But then I go down the rabbit
And
hole.
it was cheap.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. That's the thing. Which now, of course, there's reports out there. I think Terry McCormick said, they gave him a comparable offer. I'm like, okay, well, I need to know what comparable is.
Right.
Is it still lower? Whatever. But this is the reason I think. First, I love NWI. When nobody was doing crap, he at least was catching touchdowns for you last year. He's reliable. Yes, okay, he's a number 4, whatever. But you look at that wide receiving room, there's nothing.
It's empty.
It's empty.
Yeah.
Absolutely empty.
It's crazy because I could see them selling us on Bryce Oliver being the new Nick Westbrook-Ikhine if Nick Westbrook-Ikhine got overpaid. He didn't get overpaid.
He didn't get overpaid.
Why not have two NWIs?
Exactly.
You can have Bryce Oliver be good and play special teams and have Nick Westbrook-Ikhine be a good wide receiver.
What are the odds that Bryce Oliver is top 10 in the NFL in touchdown receptions?
Well, exactly. And look, like his stats.
And this is not Bryce Oliver hate, people.
No, of course not. Youngstown State, go Penguins. I mean, they good young, moldable receiver. But imagine NWI stats, too, if they'd actually played him the beginning of the season instead of Traylon Burks.
Oh, don't get it.
Because we'd be talking about he would be making double on the market than what he is now. If he had been put in the first month of the season when he should have been, he'd be a 600-yard wide receiver with maybe double-digit touchdowns.
Right. And
honestly.
if he was utilized more.
Yeah.
But also, along the big picture conversation, I looked at it as, okay, the Titans have so many holes to fill. You don't have a ton of draft picks this year, right? And so now you had an opportunity to cheaply fill a spot in your wide receiving core that is depleted, and there's nothing there anyway outside of Calvin Ridley from that standpoint that you can rely on, who knows the coach, who knows the offensive scheme, who knows what you want to do here, who
wants to be here.
Yes, who never gives you any trouble, works his butt off, and you can count on him to catch touchdowns for you. And so I kind of have a problem where I go like worst case scenario and everything. So then
like
I'm
when
like,
I said Cam Ward was going to be Zach Wilson. No, I get it. Yeah,
yes,
I did the same thing.
That was what I was going to get you for.
I figured.
That's what it was. Yeah. So anyway,
that got taken out
I'm
of context. Separate conversation.
Well, okay, we'll get to it. So then I'm like, okay, now they're going to give up the first overall pick, and they're not going to draft Cam Ward, and then they're not going to have this quarterback that I'm in love with, and then blah blah blah.
I hear this debate every morning
because
from 6 to 10.
they didn't, sign NWI. So that's where I went worst case scenario of that's just yet another hole they're going to have to fill, and they're going to trade back to get all these draft picks.
I mean, maybe. I feel like at this point it probably is Cam Ward, and I've been on the a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. It just does feel like things we thought were constants and things that we thought were known commodities are not known commodities to Mike Berganzi and Chad Brinker and the 4 GMs that are running this. I mean, they are tearing down everything that we thought about the team and just completely starting over.
Well, and so I'm of the opinion. Let me wait and see watch the smoke clear and see what the wide receiver room looks like at the end of the day. But currently, you're right. I mean, if they had to play tomorrow, it's Calvin Ridley, Traylon Burks, Bryce Oliver, Mason Kinsey.
I've seen reports that Cooper Kupp, maybe the Titans were interested in him. I thought we were done signing aging 30-year-old injured receivers.
There are 3 different reporters that are saying that.
See, I'm good on that. The old Titans would have done that.
Are you jaded?
Which is how we got here. Yes. Do we not watch Julio Jones? Did we not watch DeAndre Hopkins this past season, who I didn't think he really wanted to be here? I mean, I'm tired of paying a receiver to sit on the bench. To sit on the bench and be hurt. And that's exactly what Cooper Kupp would do.
Or take themselves out of
the game. Mac Jones is going to need guys to throw to for the Titans next year. But
Stop it. Okay.
Mac Jones, this is where we are.
I genuinely think, if I'm predicting what I think is going to happen, I think they sign Mac Jones. He's your starter through the middle of October. You draft Cam Ward, and then he takes over from there.
I'm okay with that.
I think that's what they're going to do.
I'm not.
Let Cam Ward ease in. We know you're not.
Well,
okay, but what about your little Cam Ward?
So here's
Zach
what I
Wilson
said. Here's what I said at the end of the show. I said
that was crazy.
If the Titans draft Cam Ward, I'm worried he would be Zach Wilson here, because I think they have some of the hero ball risk-taking tendencies. I'm not comparing the two. I'm not making a comp.
Okay,
I'm saying at his worst.
Twitter screws you because you did not explain that.
No, I did not explain that.
All I saw was your tweet.
Keith Bullock and I had this conversation, and I explained it. He was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." I think his floor comp is Zach Wilson. If he is the worst he could possibly be, I think it looks something a little bit like what Zach Wilson is. Zach Wilson, by the way, who only threw 3 picks his last year at BYU. We did this whole thing with him of he fixed his
Tennessee.
He and Caleb made the point of he's not really a gamer. I saw him on fourth and Lenore City be a gamer against Tennessee.
On the far side.
We were making the same Mahomes comparisons about him of he can run right and throw left. Have you ever seen that before? So when I watch the film on Cam Ward, I see a lot of NFL level throws across the hash marks. I see a lot of back shoulder. I see a lot of things I really, really like. And then I see about 2 or 3 times a game, he'll do something that makes you want to pull your hair out. But he only would get Will Levis-like. Again, if you make that comparison, people come after you. Not to that level. He's played more football than Will Levis did. Mm-hmm. I think he is more mentally a lot more strong and a lot more. This sounds harsh. There are a lot of Kentucky fans around. That's all right. They don't know about their football team. That's really mean. There is a lot. I think Cam Ward has the mentality Will Levis thinks he has. I think Cam Ward is mentally that guy, the way Will Levis comes across, but when push comes to shove, Cam Ward actually backs that up, whereas Will Levis makes a lot of mistakes and can't rise to the moment. That sounds really harsh, but that's the best way I've ever described it.
I don't think it's harsh.
So Mac Jones, I
like it.
After his rookie season, Mac Jones, 65% passer, 32 touchdowns, 31 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's what y'all want?
So, no, but out of the options here, I'd rather have someone that is somewhat of a scheme fit for what Brian Callahan wants, someone who is more of a higher completion percentage, find where you want to go with the football before the snap and go there kind of quarterback. Because I think that's what Brian Callahan wants. It's a much, much, much worse version of Joe Burrow. It's probably a little bit better version of Mason Rudolph. I think that's your bridge, to be honest with you. I wanted Justin Fields, and that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed, as will you. Your family needs you, so you can go consume Vanderbilt basketball.
We'll go get a Rotiers milkshake over here. I love that. It is only in here. I'm very excited about it. Good to see you.
Rotiers, what an incredible spot.
For
years and years and years.
Good to see you.
French bread burgers. Real ones. Put that on the Nashville Citizenship.
So go cheer on your Commodores. They're down 15.
Whoa, whoa. We're cheering for fake UT today. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tavondre Sweat is in the building down
Yes,
there
he is.
cheering.
Oh,
for,
is he really?
He's massive.
cheering for the other UT?
Good for him.
Texas 41, Vanderbilt 26 at halftime. Thank you, Will Bowling. You can hear Will
Good to see you.
with
Love you guys.
RK Dub in
Yeah.
the morning.
Yes, sir.
Holla.
6 to 10, 1045 The Zone.
Love it.
All right,
Well,
thank
back
you, Will.
inside. Yep,
All right, more
thanks.
3HL when we come back. Dan Orlovsky on what should happen with the number 1 pick. He was on the Pat McAfee show. We'll play it for you. If you want in, 615-737-1045.
No roof allowed. Nope. But GameDayMen'sHealth.com, you need to get active, people. It's time for you to get in the game. And I'm talking to my fellas out there. If you have an opportunity to get to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, all you got to do is call 615-898-9367. See how I took the excuse right out of it? You don't have to get there. You can just call or text 615-898-9367. Did you know that half of all the men would struggle with erectile dysfunction at some point in their lives? I'm talking about half of them. That doesn't have to be your normal, though. Nope. This is where Game Day Men's Health comes in. ED issues can be caused by any number of things. Could be testosterone, could be something else. Bottom line, you don't know until you go see Game Day. You got 2 different locations to go to, Green Hills or Hendersonville. Grab your phone, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Top of the page, click Book Appointment. Pull up to one of those 2 locations, name, phone number, and email address is all you need. That's it. Someone from Game Day will hit you up. In 15 minutes, you'll get your lab results back, you'll meet with a medical expert, and boom, you're ready to get to it. 615-898-9367 is the number. Get in the game today with GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Bridgestone Arena for the SEC basketball tournament as NFL free agency officially opens today. A Titans note that just dropped from Ian Rappaport. The Cowboys are finishing stages of a trade for Titans linebacker Kenneth Murray Jr. as the teams are preparing to swap late-round picks as the linebacker heads to Dallas. The Titans also signed wide receiver Van Jefferson to a one-year deal today, and they signed offensive lineman Blake Hance to a one-year deal worth $1.3 million. In some other NFL news today, free agent quarterback Russell Wilson scheduled to visit with the Browns on Thursday. He will also visit with the Giants on Friday. The Broncos are signing tight end Evan Ingram to a 2-year, $23 million deal, and the Seahawks signing former Cowboys pass rusher DeMarcus Lawrence for a 3-year, $42 million deal. Update from the SEC tournament here at Bridgestone Arena. South Carolina fell to Arkansas 72-68. Texas and Vanderbilt currently playing just out of the half. Texas leads 41-26. In the late session tonight, LSU and Mississippi State face off starting at 6. Oklahoma and Georgia wrap up day one of the tournament with an 8:30 p.m. tip. Ferrari Foundation Repair and Waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSDN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from the SEC tournament. We are in the concourse. Come by and see us. Our thanks to Will Bowling, who hopped on last segment to throw some stuff at Davenport a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them holding hands walking through the concourse. Will B and his future wife.
Isn't that cute?
Peyton. Was she named after Peyton Manning? Aren't they young enough for that? Don Davenport is here.
What up?
3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com. Outside section 118 is where we are. Titans news just happened in terms of basketball as we broadcast live from the SEC basketball tournament. Arkansas beat South Carolina 72-68 in the first game today. They were up 17 at halftime and then had to battle down the stretch to get that dub. They get Ole Miss tomorrow at noon. So Ole Miss and Arkansas on the noon session of Thursday. The winner of Arkansas and Ole Miss gets number 1 ranked Auburn Friday at noon. Jonas Adu with 14 points and 11 rebounds. Vanderbilt and Texas. Texas leading 41-29 over the Vanderbilt Commodores. They have just begun play in the second half. Vanderbilt has lost 2 in a row. They did beat Texas on February 8th. Texas has lost 4 out of 5. So that's what's going on there. In terms of shooting, Vanderbilt is 2 of 12 from three-point range. Jason Edwards, 3 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3. He has 8 points for Texas. Superstar freshman Trey Johnson, 3 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. He's really been struggling in terms of shooting the basketball the last couple of games, but a phenomenal player, one of the best in the country, certainly one of the best freshmen in the country, has 9 points. We'll keep you updated there. Van Jefferson, wide receiver, played his high school football at Ravenwood, is now a Titan. 1 year, $2.5 million. Last year for Pittsburgh, 24 receptions, 276 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You good with the little trade out there? NWI to Miami, and Van Jefferson to the Titans, making some movement in terms of that wide receiver room.
I mean, I would rather have it in WI because he knows the coaching staff, he knows the offense. You know what you get with him, all of that. But, you know, Van Jefferson is a capable number 4.
Yeah, and his dad, Sean Jefferson, who played wide receiver in the NFL and has been a wide receivers coach, including here with the Tennessee Titans, which is why Van Jefferson played high school football at Ravenwood. And you asked the question, like, are kids of professional athletes just different on some level? And our guy Blake Krieger texted me. He said, "Look at Tracy Rocker and Kumar Rocker. It's just different."
It's just different. Well, and I look at, like,
It's like Hadley
like
going to be a
lot of-
professional dancer because of her parents and their dance ability.
Because her mom is so so talented on the dance floor.
Yes.
Yeah, but I look at a lot of the college quarterbacks. A lot of your college quarterbacks have dads that were coaches, are coaches, whatever. I mean, Bo Nix and who is it, Seth Hennigan, and a lot of quarterbacks end up, or a lot of kids who have dads that coach end up as quarterbacks because they know the game so well. They've been around it, but it's a different level too when you're a player whose dad coached or played in the NFL, and that's how you grew up. You grew up around locker rooms. You grew up, watching film when you were 7 years old.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many stories of college players who have their big-time NFL dads, who said, oh, yeah, Dad and I were watching film at 7 years old together in the living room after our Little League or, whatever game.
I think that's true in a lot of industries where sons kind of follow in their father's footsteps. You see it in broadcasting.
Yep.
For sure. Titans just made a move. Kenneth Murray to the Dallas Cowboys, right, Zeph?
Okay.
Kirby.
Turn him up. Turn him up.
It's his job.
right.
It is not his job.
All right,
That
I'm
is
back.
not his job, Kirby.
All right, yes.
That is your job. That is your sole job,
Tennessee
Kirby.
Titans have traded former first-round pick Kenneth Murray to the Cowboys. They're also going to be swapping late-round picks. There's no official compensation out yet. This is from Ian Rappaport. So as soon as the pick swap comes out. But this from John Glennon. The Murray trade will free up $7.6 million of cap space for the Titans.
Yeah.
They'll only have $2.5 million of dead money. That contract was pretty large for Murray. It was 2 years, $15.5 million.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Well, the second year is where that
That's where it
kicked
gets
in.
you.
He had a cap hit of $9.9 million this year. So they save a lot of money getting him. And thank you, Jerry Jones, for at least helping get that off the Titans'
All right.
plate.
I think Yankee Bob is going to show you some
Titans
parameters
just
of that
signed somebody else, too.
Here it is. Another news. Yes, I got it right here. Thank you, Yankee Bob. They're signing veteran guard Kevin Zeitler to a one-year deal. So they find their right guard. Their offensive line is complete.
I love how you say that like it's just so
was so
perfect and pretty and matter of fact.
It was like a Disney movie
Who-
about offensive linemen.
What guard are they signing?
Kevin Zeitler, former Lions guard. He will slide in at right guard. A 1 year, $9 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. So basically, most of the money that they just saved from Kenneth Murray, they go and spend it on Zeitler.
Since entering the NFL in 2012, he's played more offensive snaps, 12,263, than any other offensive lineman in the league. That guy?
Yeah. So off his Wikipedia page, which is immediately where I go when I thought it was Kevin Seitzer who played baseball.
Negative.
It was not Seitzer. Oh, look at this.
Oh, look what the cat drug in.
What's up, baby? Slay dog in the house.
And
baby?
Yeah, so you
we're
just missed some
live,
Titans.
yes.
You just missed some
Hi.
Titans news.
Damian Fishback, also
yeah, it was.
Auburn great in the house. Hi, War Eagle, my bud.
Bowling Green High School's Damian
Here.
Fishback. I mean, Bowling Green, Kentucky's Damian Fishback. Greenwood
work?
High School.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. There's some Titans news. We will digest it and hit it again
Well,
after.
this is what they said about who are we talking about? Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah.
Pre-draft, even though not a nifty or nimble lineman, Zeitler was described as a solid prospect.
Well, I guess he was pretty solid because he came into the league in 2012,
Yeah.
and dude's still here.
Yeah, he's 35
and
years
dude's
old.
still getting a contract.
He's
so.
35 years old.
So what you telling me is they waving for us to come outside and play?
I
We still
mean-
sitting in the, because I feel like I'm in the window.
No, listen. They're
Okay.
just saying, open up the window, crack the window, and
Yeah,
like
some
stick
fresh
your
air.
head out a little bit.
Get some of this fresh air out here.
This is basically a stopgap because we have so many damn holes to fill
Yeah.
that we're going to sign a 35-year-old guy who has been in the league since 2012 to help fill this spot. This is where we are. So you can open the window, but you still
Still
better
ain't going
stay
outside.
inside.
Somebody walked by and he said, "Where's Slay? I'm looking for the window."
Somebody just said that when we was coming upstairs.
David Fishback at the table too. Fish, what's up, man? Who's your NFL team?
Hey, man, I'm just excited to be on here with you guys, man. I always see a bunch of laughing, a bunch of hollering with Ron saying go Vols and stuff. I need some of that energy. I'm up here. I need to see that from you guys today.
This is going to tell you something about me and my age, but I did an internship at WBKO in Bowling Green.
Oh, wow.
And we used to go shoot your games in high school.
Wow.
So it's been fun to watch your career progression.
I appreciate that. That doesn't show too much yet. We both young men over here, right? We're all young people. We are all young. What are you talking about, right? We're all young, especially you. She looks like she can still be in college.
That's
Are
right.
you still in college?
This is my man
She just
right
had her
here.
27th birthday.
You guys know.
It's 27.
Again.
She's good at having 27-year-old birthdays.
That's right.
She's very experienced at it.
We won't talk about the fact that I was a Duncan Darling when this guy played basketball at Auburn.
That's right.
You don't know anything about that, Slay.
Who let these
Duncan
more damn
Darlings,
Eagles
man.
in here,
Duncan
man?
Darlings
This
in
ain't
the
how it's
building.
supposed to be.
Let me ask y'all a question because in the first half of the first game, watching Arkansas, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this team could make a run.
Yeah.
South Carolina fought back like we said they would.
Yep.
What was your take on Arkansas in that first game with Coach
Fish
Cal?
pointed it out.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised because, for South Carolina, let's remember just how good they were. They could have knocked off Auburn, one possession game.
That's right.
They took Mississippi State into overtime. Texas A&M, 2-possession game. Florida, it took a buzzer-beating shot by Will Richards. So I knew that South Carolina was not going to fight to give them a test. But what I saw from Arkansas is that if they can get those 3 7-footers together, Big Z, Jonas Adu, and Trevor Brazile, I wouldn't want to see them in the first round of the tournament. I know you that.
It's dangerous. Them 7-footers running around, but then you look at it, DJ Wagner being able to control the tempo the way he is now, shooting the ball the way he is. I think that's always been something because teams have been defending him going under the screen, but you can't do that no more. He's been knocking them down from way, way outside, and there's no hesitation. Billy Richmond is a guy coming off the bench, giving them a spurt. So, man, Arkansas is in a good place, and Cal isn't
That's what
putting
Cal
pressure on him.
does.
Yeah, he ain't putting pressure on them either.
Right? But that is what Cal does.
That is what he does.
Okay, we get better towards the end of the year.
That's what he told
we
him
get
when he
ready
came
for
on set.
tournament.
I love it.
That was the first thing he said.
I think it's funny.
And then we don't win national championships, but yeah.
Shots
Babs ain't gonna play.
Hey,
Babs ain't gonna play with
That's
him.
what she does.
Listen. I will say this, though. The question is, if he doesn't go back to Kentucky when they're booing him back where he had so much success, does Arkansas ever have this run? I think they ignited the run.
Right.
I think Coach Cal, just like he said on Twitter,
That's a great
he said
point.
they had the nail. They just didn't put the nail in the wood. They had the coffin. They tried to cover me up, but they didn't put the nail in the wood.
Yeah.
That motivated Cal.
So Chris Beard told y'all, and I thought it was an interesting point. We already talked about it, but he was asked, what's the goal here in Nashville? And he said, improve our seating.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting point. He said his point to that was that the big party is the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And how do you want to go to the party? You want to go through the front door or the side door?
He hit
Which
it
I
on the
thought was a
head.
great point, right?
No, he hit it on the head.
What do y'all think about that matchup tomorrow at noon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an intriguing matchup of styles because for the Rebels, they're actually somewhat similar to Texas, which doesn't surprise you. Chris Beard, Rodney Terry, all those years together.
Yeah.
They want to be a little bit more judicious, right? Malik Dia is a guy who likes to just post up. They're one-on-one guys. They like half court
That's
a little
right.
bit more. Versus for Arkansas, if they can use that rim protection and get out and use all of those athletes, those pros, Arkansas could advance another game. They really could.
They sure could. And when you're looking at Ole Miss, my thing is, man, if they are able to create for each other, like you just said, as one-on-one, sometimes when you ain't got it going, one-on-one is the easiest thing to guard because help side loads up.
Yeah.
And you know this guy's just trying to get his shot. But if you're penetrating to get somebody else a better shot and they get somebody else a better shot, then, man, you got something to work with because they got so many weapons when you look at Ole Miss.
This is cracking me up. It's like it's tournament week, and it's like we get like professional Slay and Fishback all of a sudden. I mean, it's like
that's true.
these boys are all in it. They got
she's
their
calling
suits
this out. We
on.
relax,
Yeah,
no.
they got their ties on. They're like, oh, let's.
They got
do-
security?
Let's go. They got
Listen.
security with them.
This the thing, Babs. We've been so routine and dialed in on, man, get it 15 to 20 seconds and pass it.
Yeah.
And you better get your
gotta
point
get in
out.
and out.
So we're in that mode right now, that
Well-
TV mode.
I'll tell you this. How cool is it to see, like, Texas colors in here, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
Texas, Oklahoma. Like, it is interesting to see them come into the SEC, and they traveled. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
They
little
did.
bit. There's a
There's
little bit of Texas in
Yep.
here too. So
There's a whole lot
it's
of
cool,
Vandy in
man.
here, and they're struggling.
Yeah.
49-33, the current score. You
Yep.
got surprised by this score?
No, they've got Huffman is still out.
Yeah.
Kendall Weaver, has been out all season long for Texas. And I promise you, when you think about great guys on teams that make it, it's like Slay. Now, he's not SEC Player of the Year, but he's a guy that brings that type of energy. Slay used to take Tennessee from this to this, right? He took them to a whole nother level. That's what Kendall Weaker does. When he does it with his energy, he does it with his rebounding, his passing. He's unselfish. I love him as a player.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt, when you look at them, I think the craziest thing is they're a bully team, even though they're undersized on the inside. But those bullies got in foul trouble. You know what I mean? So when bullies get in foul trouble, like, who's there to defend the paint? And the guard's not hitting threes from outside, which is a problem when they're running, man. So we're going to see if Biden can turn it around. But, man, Texas, they're playing for a little bit more, too.
That's right.
Right now. They're trying to get this tournament.
To your point, Carey and Hogard both have 3 fouls currently, and that's tough.
Yeah. Well, he talked about them bullying. You know the only thing a gorilla's scared of, right? A bigger gorilla. A bigger gorilla. And that's what they ran in today. Texas came in.
So did.
He came in with that Gustavus on Breaking Bad. We said Rodney Terry kind of looks like Gustavus on Breaking Bad. That's what he came in with, that kind of demonstrative mindset.
Are you going to say that to his face?
Yeah, guess what? We got to. That's one thing I'm going to say, man. Whatever you say, you got to be willing to go and say it to them, because, man, they got people listening. Yeah. And a lot of times they act like it ain't them. Yeah. They try to act like it ain't them listening. But they really listening.
Coaches are like, I heard you say this.
Yeah, these folks listening, man.
Stage,
so, you got to be willing to say it, or don't say it.
Okay, here's the big question. Is Auburn going to just win this whole thing? And as an Auburn fan, do we want Auburn to win it?
Babsy, ask him who he picked, and then I'll tell you who I picked, Babsy.
Whoa.
Ask your fellow alum over there who he picked.
Of course. I picked the team that I think is playing better than anybody in college basketball, and that would be the Florida Gators right now.
I'm with you on that.
The team that went in and beat Auburn, that went in and beat Alabama, that beat Tennessee when they were number 1 by 30 points.
Wow.
Before they came back to Knoxville and got beat by 20 themselves. I'm just saying, they're pretty good.
Well,
that front court.
Listen,
who'd you pick?
I'm all for that. I said, man, coming into it with 2 losses like Auburn did, they are the only team in the country that I feel with enough experience to say, you know what? They look around in the locker room and say, we can click that switch. They have that experience to do that, and I think Auburn is going to win it. They'll pick Auburn.
See? Look at that.
So
that's my guy now.
Hey, listen. All right. I got a question for you.
Babs. I don't know what's going on.
I got a question for you.
I don't know what's going on.
I got a question for you. And I'm gonna be cautious on how I say this.
Uh-oh.
Do you trust Chad Baker Mazara to continue to bring his elite level of play without taking it too far for the duration of the season?
Ooh.
And would you put your life on it?
Oh, are we going to take a break?
No.
Is it break time?
Zeph and I were having a
Do I have to answer that question?
No, you
would I
answer
put
away.
my life?
Come on,
nope.
Babsy.
Answer away.
No, Babsy.
You never run from a question.
Put my life
No,
on it.
I totally get it. I'll be nervous too. But this is one of the things. I'm going to trust, and this is why I'm going to trust the rest of the team to get them in order, because what we saw when they went down to Houston, I thought their season was over with. When they had to land the plane, emergency landing, I said, man, Houston going to beat that. They're going to beat the hell out of them. But you had veterans that get the team together. Man, I thought the season was over. So when you got another mistake right before a big moment like this, dog, it's going to be different.
I should pull up the text chain when all that came out on that fight. Yeah. I should just pull up all my texts, because at least 50 of you people texted me like, what's wrong with your team?
And look what happened.
They're fighting on the plane. They got to land the plane.
And look what happened.
Slay said it was a good thing.
I totally forgot about
you said that.
It feels like 5
like
years
this
ago.
is it. You either going to fall apart or you're going to come together.
Yeah.
They came together 16 quad 1 wins.
Yeah, you just got to keep it on the plane. You can't bring it on the court.
Right.
What happens on the plane?
It stays on the plane. You can't be elbowing people in the back of the head.
Snakes on the plane. Okay, that was wild.
Slay Dog here, Damian Fishback here. Fish, while we got you, have you had a chance to watch the Chris Lofton documentary yet?
You know, I was talking to Slay about that. It's funny because both.
If not, I can't wait until you do.
No. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But I was talking to he and Dane Bradshaw about it. It's for me. It's so dynamic because they live through it, right? You see documentaries all the time, but having people like Dane, like Slay, that were so close in the program, you know, that's what excites me most about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get your take on it. I mean, just from a basketball.
I haven't been able to watch it yet either.
As a guard who like to shoot the ball, just watching Chris Lofton.
Oh, he was the best, man. Soft. You know, I would say he's got the best stroke ever outside of Allen Houston.
And that's saying something.
And Allen
That's saying
Houston,
something.
you know.
Houston shot lasers too.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, it was like, zoom.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, but it was just going in.
It was going
when
in.
he shot it, it was going in.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, and
Just
listen,
ain't
you
how much
know,
with him.
Chris was just soft and beautiful.
It's funny they were talking about. I think it was Dane was talking about when Chris Lofton, maybe it was Jordan Howell, when Chris Lofton got to Tennessee.
Yeah.
He signed late. He got over to the building in the facility, and either Dane or Jordan was saying, man, he can really shoot it, but I don't think he's athletic enough in
Get
the
the shot
SEC to
off.
get that shot off.
Interesting.
And he said, and then they played North Carolina
And he showed up.
in
And
the
he did
second
it.
half.
It
and
was over.
It was over, and he was
The rest
shooting
was
over
history.
All-Americans and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. Coaches always say, man, that regardless of how your shot is, just be able to get your shot off and whatever, if it's ugly or whatever, have repetitions of that shot. If it goes in, don't change it. What you changing it for?
It's going to be a fun week. I know you
Gonna
guys
be a blast,
talk
man.
basketball nonstop all day, every day while we're down here.
Going
so
back and doing some more.
Hold on, before we go.
I'm
before we
glad
go,
you came
I
back
got a
down
question.
here.
I got a question for you guys real
Yeah.
quick before we go.
Yeah.
You've seen SEC hoops all year long.
Yep.
If there was anybody that you had to recruit to match up against the great Ron Slay when he was in his prime in
Ooh.
this year's SEC, who would you take?
I think it would be Broom, but I think Slay would take him outside athletically
Ooh, we know
and be
that
able to go to
he
work.
Would.
Isn't Broom the guy, though, that y'all would pick?
Who would you
Yeah.
pick?
I would try to go with somebody with some size. And Broom has some. I'd probably go Alex Condon because Broom would
Okay.
try to
That's
bully
a good
him.
pick.
He's long.
Broom would
That's a
try to
good
bully him, and
Yeah.
you can't bully Ron Slay, right?
good
That's
pick.
true.
You would have to try to
It would make it worse.
have more length. Try to run him. I try to get Alex to run him, get him tired. And he would. I don't think he would be. He wouldn't back down to Slay and that talking with the headband either.
Yeah.
But I'm still
He wouldn't
taking
have to. He
Slay.
just had to
Slay
just
all-
rolled his
Slay
eyes.
all day.
He just had to accept all 35 points that he was going to
Ooh.
receive. He can just
No,
stay
that's
there.
Light work.
Well,
Who
I
would
mean-
you pick?
I think that's a good pick. Him or
That is a good pick.
Colin Murray Boyles, I think is another one. Defensively, I don't know if he's going to be able to score me offensively because he's just
Hey,
trying to bully.
I haven't been here long enough, but I know what this means. We got to go, y'all.
wrap it up.
We got to go.
Look at him. He's like, break.
Hey,
Hey, I don't know what that means.
We don't
Fitz,
listen very
do you know what our
very
break
well.
time is in this segment?
What?
4:13.
Been past that.
You guys would get kicked off the set for the SEC network if you
Y'all
went
walk
this
up,
long.
we go. Somebody walks up with security, we go long.
It's
That's
March.
right.
It's March.
That's
you
right.
tell them it's March.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you guys.
Appreciate it, baby.
You're
Enjoy it.
unbelievably busy and very kind to top five.
Babsy,
Thank
stay in the
Enjoy
window.
it.
Don't sneak outside.
I
Yeah.
opened it up. I'll let you know.
All right.
We'll let you know how
All
it
right, see
goes.
you guys
Doing great,
later.
guys. Crush it.
Thanks.
All right, there's Slay and Damian Fishback.
ya, boys.
All right,
Looking sharp.
We'll jump back into some Titans talk next. 3HL. Titans making a trade, also picking up a wide receiver. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You need replacement windows. You need replacement doors. You're building a house. You need new windows. You need new doors. Or maybe you're adding an outdoor area that you want to close in and you need windows. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville can do every single bit of that, and they're going to do it really well. I can speak to that because I'm also a customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville and would love to recommend them to you. Couple ways you can get a hold of them. One, you could just stop by one of their two showrooms, which are a lot of fun to browse all the windows and all the doors. You can pull different things out and push them back and see what you like or what you don't like, what would go with your house. And you can do that in Franklin at 277 Mallory Station Road, or you can also do that in Hendersonville now, 256 East Main Street, two different locations, same great staff, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You can also just hop online and schedule a free consultation. Check out the Dawn deal they have going on for March. Just ask them to give it to you. They'll take care of you. Go online at PellaNashville.com.
What's happening, y'all? You know how life can change in an instant, right? A car wreck can throw everything off. Job, bills, peace of mind. That's when you need to call my good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law. Blair Durham and his team have been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. If you've been injured, listen, don't wait. Call BDIL. You know what that is? That's Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000. They're here 24/7 and ready to fight for you. Now, I'm telling you, you never can choose when an accident is going to happen. It just happens. And you got to have somebody right there ready to fight for you, give their all for you, let you relax and get paid, and be okay. That's why you call Bart Durham Injury Law. 615-242-9000. 24/7 relief. 615-242-9000.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport broadcasting live from Bridgestone Arena, just outside Section 118. The people yelling at Dawn. Where did you get a cookie?
Oh, I had it in my bag.
Oh, you know Christy Cookie's right there.
I know.
Yeah, but Bob's over there. Look at that.
I know, but this one's free.
Oh. Don't they usually give us free cookies over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because
I just ate a full one.
You went over and talked us into free cookies the last 2 years.
I did. I was going to say, I was putting that in my back pocket for tomorrow. We're here tomorrow, too. And Friday.
How about Slay and Damian Fishback popping down? I mean, they're talking basketball and talking basketball and talking basketball, yet they come over here and talk basketball. That was really nice of them. You don't want to talk now because you have a cookie in your mouth?
Yeah. Sorry. I was trying to finish it real quick.
So, with the addition of Kevin Zeitler, offensive guard, who has played 198, has started 198 of his 212 games in the NFL, which is a 93% rate. You now have Dan Moore at left tackle, who was a fourth-round draft pick. Peter Skoronski at left guard, first-round draft pick. Lloyd Cushenberry at center, third-round draft pick. Kevin Zeitler at right guard, first-round draft pick. And J.C. Latham at right tackle, first-round draft pick. So now you have three first-round draft picks on your offensive line. As Zeph declared earlier, offensive line solved. Let's hope so.
Can you read into the emphasis and overpayment at the left tackle position, I think, a little bit in free agency, but I also maintain that you get two for the price of one because you moved Latham over. But will that lead you to think that perhaps they're doing something to protect that rookie quarterback they're going to pick one overall?
I think that you can read into that. I still want to see what they do free agency-wise at quarterback. Like, there are reports out there. Ben Volen had a report out there that the Titans were interested in Carson Wentz. If you bring Carson Wentz in, does that give you an idea that they're taking quarterback one or not? To me, that's maybe the one guy where you can't tell.
That might be fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The one guy.
Yeah, that's like the middle of the road guy.
Anybody else, if it would have been Zach Wilson or Mac Jones or anybody else.
I don't love the idea.
Absolutely, they're taking a quarterback.
I don't love the idea of Carson Wentz starting, games, starting the season as your quarterback. But
I'm okay with it if he's going to teach and let Cam Ward develop.
But if they don't, if they move down and have Carson Wentz,
I don't want to talk about it.
You want to go sit in the window?
I want to go sit in the window and close it back up and lock it and paint it, in those old houses where sometimes they paint over the window seals
why do
and
they
so
do
they
that?
are painted shut.
Yeah, why do they do that?
That's where I would be. I don't know.
The old buildings that you walk by that are brick and then you could tell that there was a window there, but they bricked it out. Why do they do that?
I don't know.
I mean, just put a nice little dark shade over your window where people can't see in, but you can still see out.
Yeah, but 100 years from now, people are going to be like, why the hell did they do all this? Talking about us.
So Kevin Zeitler played at Wisconsin-Madison. He was and then played for the Wisconsin Badgers, he was recognized consensus first-team All-American and was drafted in the first round, pick number 27. He was actually caught up in the ODB trade. OBJ.
ODB. Old dirty.
There was no trade for a rapper. Where did I get that?
Oh, dirty.
Oh, man, that was funny.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, that was a funny misstep.
Young people are like, what the heck are they
don't know
about?
what we're doing here. But they still think we're funny because we're the funny old people that tell jokes that they don't get. On March 13, 2019, the Browns traded Zeitler and Jabril Peppers to the New York Giants.
Oh, my gosh. This guy is old.
Along with their first and third picks in the 2019 NFL Draft in exchange for Odell Beckham Jr. and Olivier Vernon.
I mean, the names that are attached to one of his trades. This guy's old.
Yeah. On March 9, 2017, a couple of years earlier, Zeitler signed a 5-year, $60 million contract with the Cleveland Browns. That is a big money deal in 2019.
Yeah,
or 2017.
And started all games, all 17 games, because that was a postseason 15.
Zeitler signed a 3-year, $22.5 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens in 2021. Started all 17 games that season. 2022 season, he appeared in and started 15 games that year. And in the 2023 season, Zeitler appeared in and started 15 games. He had a fumble recovery in week 1 against the Texans. There you go. Take that, Texans. Zeitler was named to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career as an alternate, replacing Joe Thuney of the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was in that was after the 2023 season. I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, and then last year he signed with the Detroit Lions and did not play. We have to look and see what happened there. But anyway, that's the move that was made. Also, wide receiver Van Jefferson, 1 year, $2.5 million contract, 24 receptions, 276 yards, and 2 touchdowns in Pittsburgh. And
a trade.
Kenneth Murray to the Dallas Cowboys. The Titans give up a 7th. They also get a 6th. So those are the moves that have been made today. 615-737-1045. Vanderbilt just staying in that 15 to 17-point range. Texas with a 17-point lead right now with 7:09 to go, 65-48. After the game, Albert Haynesworth is going to pop up here and do the 3HL radio show.
Good, he can talk about free agency.
Yes.
That was crazy. He's the reason they changed the tampering rule.
Yes.
Seriously.
He had a $100 million contract within 3 hours of free agency being open.
I mean,
at least that's when the story was broken.
That's exactly
right.
That I'm telling you, he's the reason that now you have the legal tampering period.
So there was some Browns media talking about this number 1 overall pick and what Cleveland needs to do if they want Cam Ward, and it's a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We'll play it for you next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now? Even a couple $100,000. You own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto, the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash so you can pay off all your credit cards and maybe start that new kitchen project or big backyard project remodel that you want to do. That's what we did, and Loan Pronto was super easy to use. I went straight to the website to start the process. Didn't have to talk to anybody. LoanPronto.com. There was virtually no paperwork. There was no annoying process. There were no junk fees. And we didn't even have to have an appraisal to be able to do that. That's because the average homeowner right now has over $300,000 in equity. And that's your money, so you might as well use it. Get approved in as little as 1 day. There's no hard credit pull up front. And get the money you need for anything. 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
We've got the trucks. All the trucks. All the trims. All the towing. All the bells and whistles. And all at Truck Month Savings. Two Rivers Ford is Ford Truck Central.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Slay Dog popped on a little while ago. Appreciate him doing that.
Fishback.
And Damian Fishback. I just went to the concession stand and got a Coke, and the guy over there, the lady that helped me said, "Man, I love y'all's show." And I said, "Thank you." And then the guy next to her said, "Oh, 3HL, tell Slay, come down here. I could beat him in basketball one-on-one."
He probably could nowadays.
I don't know.
Slay needs to spend some time at Kellum. This travel's got him.
68-53, Texas leading Vanderbilt now. Vanderbilt just can't get it going. They've only hit 3 threes, 3 of 16. Trey Johnson.
Oh, gosh, that'll do it.
Yeah, Trey Johnson, the freshman phenom at Texas.
War Eagle. Sorry, my Auburn people. They just
don't
know.
play till Friday.
It's up to 17 points. So unless Vanderbilt can make a serious run here in the last 5 minutes, we're going to get Texas and Texas A&M here at the SEC tournament. It's so funny. A&M left to come to the SEC to get away from Texas. Now they can't get away from them.
There's like real hate there.
I know. I can't wait to see that in this building
true hate
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so the winner of the Texas A&M game in that scenario would play Tennessee on Friday.
Okay. That's how our bracket
So
lines
you
up.
literally Texas's run could go through Vanderbilt. Who is in the home city of the tournament, then go through A&M, their most hated rival ever, then go UT versus UT. This is quite a little storyline here for the Texas Longhorns' first trip. There are a lot of Texas fans here. There are way more Vanderbilt fans here, but there are a lot of Texas fans here, and it's good to have 4 games on a Wednesday. That's really, really cool.
And this place is jumping. Like, I feel like it's jumping more than it was on a Wednesday last year.
I'm really surprised that you haven't gotten the walking taco yet.
I'm saving that for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad you
I
have
ate
a
a late
plan.
lunch.
You have a plan
My plan
for your food
is
intake.
walking taco tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Rotiers and Christie cookies Friday. I've already planned it out.
Rotiers is phenomenal. Okay,
Yep.
I got you. I'm going to try to maneuver my way into the Lexus Lounge, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I might take Zeph with me because he's never been there.
Oh, yeah. You got to go. It's very nice down there.
It is. Again, Albert Haynesworth coming up after the Vanderbilt-Texas game. Going to pop in. Browns media had an interesting take. So Cleveland has the number 2 overall pick. And if they really want Cam Ward. Now, Russell Wilson is visiting Cleveland, which is an interesting little nugget. You got to love the drama of the NFL, man. And you wonder, is that a real visit or are the Browns just messing with people? You know what I mean? Like, would you go out of your way to visit a guy and pay for all that to mess with people?
Or do the Browns even know what they're doing? That's the big question.
Or is Russell Wilson trying to get more money out of the Giants?
Who's their GM, Andrew Berry?
Yes.
Yeah, the Browns.
Was the former youngest GM
He was 32 when he got the job, I remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, like, if Cleveland really wants Cam Ward, and if they think the Giants are going to trade up to 1 to get Cam Ward, what would the Browns have to do? This is a discussion that some Browns media folks were having.
If Tennessee's not taking Cam Ward and you're Andrew Berry, you better go get up to number 1. I'm not letting the Giants move up to 1.
I think what you do, you start the conversation with here's our offer, but you end that phone call with a very clear statement of whatever the Giants are going to give you, call us back. We'll top it.
I think it would probably cost them a 1 next year.
I think so too, and I think that's crazy. You're talking about giving to move up 1 spot. And that, by the way, I think
yeah, but to go get the quarter, if
and
you believe.
Yep,
Right.
I would do it. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just think this is what we're talking about. We're talking about giving up a first-round pick to move up 1 spot in the draft. And I agree with you. And by the way, the more I watch Cam Ward, the more he grows on me. Do I still think he would have been the 4th quarterback at best taken last year? I do. He's talented, man. I'd take a shot on him. Some of the tape, I'm like, dude, this is insane. Some of the throws he's making. Listen, I would do it.
Here's where I am with that. Even if I wanted Cam Ward, I would do that deal. I would. I would trade 1 spot back to acquire another first-round pick next year. And think about this. It's not just any first-round pick. It's Cleveland's first-round pick.
Yeah.
So you got to expect it's going to be high.
Going to be high.
Well, unless Cam Ward is legit and gets you a whole bunch of wins and turns into Jaden Daniels, and then guess what? Every Titans fan is going to go cry in the corner.
Also, if they do that,
I can totally see that.
if they do that and they, draft Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter and don't go quarterback and then run it with, I don't know, Mac Jones or maybe even back with Will Levis.
Or Will Levis.
And then guess what? You're probably going to have 2 top 10 picks next year.
And Brian Callahan will be fired.
And probably
And it ain't his fault.
And
not his
probably
fault.
a new head coach who'll get to pick his quarterback because apparently next year's class is supposed to be really deep.
Right. So when you want 2 first-round picks next year?
And the top 10 just pick 2 quarterbacks?
Even if, you could go.
2 rookie quarterbacks.
You could use those 2 to go to number 1. I mean,
That's true.
let's go. I'm in on this deal. I don't care who Cam Ward is. If that could happen, I'll move back to number 2, and I might not be done.
I was going to say,
I'll go Travis Hunter's plan.
I was just going to say I made fun of my husband for this dream he had. But honestly, for me, if you're not taking Cam Ward at 1 and you're moving back, I need you to move back to 2, get some draft. I need you to just keep moving back. You might as well just keep on moving.
Plus, if
Keep
you do
on
that,
moving.
you will scare the crap out of the Giants, who are already desperate for a quarterback because they've already come out and said that the Giants are willing to go veteran and rookie in the same year. So if Cam Ward's off the board at 1, well, Shador's sitting right there at 2, and the Giants are like, well, the Titans still need a quarterback.
Right.
After that revamped offensive line, they signed Mac Jones. That's really who they're going to run with.
Yeah.
You could swindle some big picks out of the Giants.
And then all of
And
a
move
sudden, the entire scenario that I made fun of my husband for
It's realistic.
comes true and is realistic. All of a sudden.
But seriously, you have the chance to, if that's true and that happens that way, I'm doing it 10 times out of 10.
Where is Titans fan on this, though? Because I'm torn. Because I'm like, listen.
You can have
if
2
you have a
top 10 picks.
I know, but you could also have your franchise quarterback and never have to worry about having a top 5 pick ever again,
Or you could have a bust.
which you could have in your 2 top 10 picks, too.
Yeah.
So where is Titans fan on this, though?
615-737-1045 is the number. 615.
I still want Cam Ward.
737-1045.
You
Not
don't.
me. I'm moving back to 2. Give me those 2 first-rounders
And then
next
moving
year.
back to 3. And then,
I don't know. I mean, let's say they don't. Let's say they evaluate Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, and they don't think that those 2 guys are worthy of the number 1 overall pick. And let's say they want Travis Hunter, for example, okay? You can still move down to 2, come up with another first-rounder next year, end up with probably 2 top 10 first-round picks. I mean, let's be real. And the player that you really wanted. There's so many ways to look at this, and we have no idea what they're thinking, I know what you want, but what do they want?
The only thing about Cam Ward is that Titans have been on this track of just like missing out. Well, 1 year you get rid of someone, second year you get rid of someone else, next year you get rid of someone, then next year you get rid of someone else.
administration?
Administration, quarterback, whatever. They have not been on the same page from
Derrick
front
Henry.
office to coaching staff to your quarterback since not even Mariota, because they were flipping quarterbacks then.
Maybe the first year of Tannehill?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so they haven't really been synonymous as a franchise in those 3 major spots. So in order to do that, if you know that you're going to get rid of Brian Callahan as the Titans, because they're probably not going to be very good, and Amy has shown to have a quick trigger, why would they go and get a quarterback who's not going to be aligned with their next head coach? Do you know what I mean? So if that's how they're thinking, and
I'm going to tell you something. They're going to get it all lined up when they move into that building. So,
they better hurry.
This is kind of purgatory type stuff, man. But you're right about everything. Everybody not like this guy didn't hire this guy, and this guy didn't hire this guy, and this guy wasn't brought in with this guy, and this guy wasn't brought in to do this and that. And there's all kinds of like dramatic. What did y'all call it? Like Survivor type stuff, or what was the reality show you guys used? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Not a reality show. It is kind of like Game of Thrones over there.
Game of Thrones is kind of reality show like.
Where you're trying to manipulate.
I mean, not reality. You know what I mean? We're talking about dragons, but.
Where I think, it makes sense to think, I think that people are manipulating relationships over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Is that Jordan Bone?
Oh, yeah, the Bone brothers just walked by. Jordan Bone and Josh Bone. Play at Tennessee.
What are they doing? Watching?
Probably watching basketball, if I had to guess.
You going to let him talk to you like that?
I'm sorry, I don't listen to him.
We've been on the page. We've been on the same page all week, and I just threw it off today. My bad.
Zeph with the shot. I mean, we are at a basketball tournament.
What I meant was, what are they doing now, jerk?
Okay, if you want literal, they're walking down the concourse.
No, I want, like, do they live here? What are they doing?
I mean, they're from here, Beth.
Are they coaching?
No.
Are they hanging out?
They're probably watching basketball. They're probably just here to enjoy the tournament.
All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up. Stay tuned. 3HL broadcasting live from
In
the
life,
SEC
Zeph,
tournament.
in life.
Where
That's not what you
Jordan
said.
and Josh Bone are watching basketball. That's what's happening.
Jeez.
Abs were just giving you a hard time. Calm down. That's okay.
By the way, Josh is an assistant at TSU, I just heard. That's what I was asking.
Is that Bob had that info? Bob's got all the if Josh, if Zeph doesn't have the info, Bob has it. So the combination of those two guys, they're like speakers, one in your left ear, one in your right ear. If you're often feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, or noticing a loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they make it easy for you to get your levels checked. Just a simple test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results right back there. Low T Center is not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy or TRT for each patient. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients, and super important, their personal treatment plans are optimized for each patient. These aren't just basic standard treatments. For current patients, Low T Center offering you a $150 referral credit and for each new patient that you refer to them. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with prescription GLP-1 weight loss medication. So get back to being your best. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Good evening. It is 5:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from Bridgestone Arena for the SEC basketball tournament. NFL free agency is officially open in the NFL today, and the Titans got busy. They are trading linebacker Kenneth Murray Jr. and a 7th-round pick to the Cowboys in exchange for a 6th-round pick. Also, former Pro Bowl guard Kevin Zeitler is expected to sign with the team on a 1-year, $9 million deal. Earlier today, the Titans signed wide receiver Van Jefferson to a 1-year deal worth up to $2.5 million. In other NFL news today, free agent quarterback Russell Wilson is scheduled to visit with the Browns on Thursday. He will also visit with the Giants on Friday. The Broncos signed tight end Evan Ingram to a 2-year, $23 million deal, and the Seahawks signing former Cowboys pass rusher DeMarcus Lawrence a 3-year deal worth up to $42 million. An update from the SEC tournament here at Bridgestone Arena. Earlier today, South Carolina fell to Arkansas 72-68. Jonas Aidoo with a double-double. Right now, Texas and Vanderbilt are currently playing as that game slowly wraps up. A minute 7 left. Texas leads Vanderbilt 72-65. In the second section today, LSU and Mississippi State face off starting at 6 p.m. Oklahoma and Georgia wrap up the day 1 of the tournament with an 8:30 tip-off. For our foundation repair and whatever needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone, the SEC Tournament edition of 3HL as we broadcast live from Bridgestone Arena. We are inside the concourse, outside section 118, and Vanderbilt is making a run. We said earlier, like they were hanging around like the 15-point deficit mark forever, and we were talking about
it was done.
They had to make a run, and they were going to make a run. It's 73-65 now. Texas with the lead, a minute 7 left. If Vanderbilt loses, it'll be because of the lack of three-point shooting today. And you see this happen in tournaments in bigger environments, right? Sometimes where the eye line is different. I don't know why it works okay for some people and it doesn't for others, but Vanderbilt 3 of 18 from three-point range. Tyler Nickel 1 of 7. So Jason Edwards has 17 points for Vanderbilt. He is 2 for 4 from the floor. And Trey Johnson for Texas, the big freshman. Not big freshman, but impactful freshman for sure. 19 points. He had 9 in the first half. He has 10 in the second half. So we'll keep you updated there. Arkansas beat South Carolina in game number 1, 72-68. They get Ole Miss tomorrow at noon. So Ole Miss and Arkansas. Winner will get number 1 ranked Auburn on Friday.
War Eagle.
So that's the noon game. There she is. She's Dawn Davenport right here.
Let's go.
So walking taco tomorrow, rotiers on Friday.
Yep.
That's
and
the
Christy
goal.
cookies on Friday. Heading into the weekend. Rocket. Happy Wednesday, y'all. This place is jumping.
Kimbrough Dunlap, who I mentioned earlier.
Energy.
Big Tennessee guy. He sent me a screenshot to Chris Hansen. You know, he catches like the child predators and things like that. You know that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they
How to catch a predator or whatever?
Yeah, whatever. So they caught this guy, and he was wearing a War Eagle sweatshirt.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Look. My man.
Oh, my gosh. Come on.
War Damn Eagle.
It says armed predator, too.
I don't know why that's funny.
Hey, listen, every fan base has those that you don't want.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. It's funny when one of those guys gets caught and he's wearing school colors. So what else we got? Coming up tonight, 15-seed LSU, 10-seed Mississippi State. Mississippi State, the biggest favorite out of these 4 games today. Mississippi State favored by 8.5. They've lost 4 out of 5. LSU's lost 5 in a row. So we'll see what happens there. Mississippi State beat LSU 11 days ago. 14-seed Oklahoma and 11-seed Georgia round out play tonight, 8:30 SEC Network. By the way, you can see Slay all day long today, Friday, Saturday on the SEC Network. So keep a lookout for him.
He's going to need a nap.
And, yes, his basketball I mean, the schedule this guy has had to keep during basketball season is just unreal. And you're right. You need to give him some travel advice.
Yes.
On how to, like, hey, stay here an extra half day, then go straight to here, and then instead of coming home and leaving and coming home and leaving and all those things.
Make it work.
Make it work. So the Titans news today, Babsy, is that
there's actually a lot of it.
Yeah, wide receiver Van Jefferson was signed today.
I mean, nothing splashy. Don't get too excited.
No, but
Titans
I love
fans,
the story, right? Like, local guy. His dad was wide receivers coach for the Titans. He played at Ravenwood High School. You don't care? I like that.
Okay.
High school. Can you imagine playing in the NFL in the city that you played high school football? That's awesome. Now, he did go to Florida. Seth just gave a big thumbs down. Does that change the whole?
I worked the spring game for Florida when they were expecting him to be a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, year
the spring
two.
heading into it.
Year two with the Rams, he had a huge season.
Yeah. He's a good kid.
So we'll see what happens there. But last year in Pittsburgh, 24 receptions, 276 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Titans also deal linebacker Kenneth Murray to the Dallas Cowboys. Murray last year had 95 tackles, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and an interception. Titans also give Dallas a 7th-round pick, and in return they get a 6th-round pick. You guys good with that deal?
A big contract, right? What was Kenneth Murray's? Sorry, Zeph. Turn yourself up. Kirby's not here. He's, trying to find out where we're going to broadcast
he's
tomorrow.
Scouting broadcast locations for tomorrow.
He was signed to a 2-year, $15.5 million deal. I think his cap hit this year was just over nine. I think it was 9.1 million.
Catch a niner in there.
Yep.
$9 million.
9.9, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, save some money.
There's Kimbrough Dunlap right now.
All that. We were just talking about you.
I just showed Dawn the perp piece with the guy with the Auburn sweatshirt on.
I just roll my eyes. Yeah, we're on air.
Yeah, you're going to be on the air.
Keep it clean.
Thanks, Bab. What were you asking me there, buddy?
I just showed her the picture you sent me with the Chris Hansen piece and the guy with the Auburn sweatshirt on. You enjoyed that.
That was very nice. Great for all my Auburn buddies.
Yeah. See, I said, listen, every fan base has the crazies.
So
every fan base.
Ronnie Bowling came by here, and Will told me that Ronnie Bowling was one of the first numbers you had with American Cellular, and it was an 804 number, and I think I'm in the same boat.
American Cellular?
Yeah, that's Kimbrough's business.
Yeah, nice.
So you guys were doing pagers when the cell phone world hit, and Zeph's going to give you his microphone. We're putting everybody that walks by on, basically. There you go. Can you hear us?
Keep it clean, Kimbrough.
I can hear you. Thanks.
So what was the world like when you guys owned a pager business and you had to get out in front of that? Like, how did that transition into cell phones happen for you all? Because you ended up selling that business and doing okay.
Actually, Brent, we were in the cell phone business first.
Okay.
In the mid to late 80s when cell phones first started, when it was called Cellular One, then it went to GTE Wireless, and then Verizon Wireless started in about year 2000. And we had several stores in and around the Southeast, and hit a niche market in some of the smaller towns, especially in West Tennessee, like a Union City or a Paris, Columbia.
Foster.
And somebody had to buy their phones from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, good for you guys.
This was before, basically before internet and things of that nature.
Well,
and then my son's taking it over from now.
There you go. And you're a big UT guy.
That is correct, as well as you.
Yeah, and you're involved big time with the Nashville Sports Council.
I'm a member of the Sports Council, and I try to do some volunteer work and help them out as much as I can.
Well, we appreciate all the work that organization does for sure, and lots of fun and exciting things every year keep popping up. So good to see you, man.
Hey, great to see you guys.
Enjoy.
So you walk up, you get on the radio. That's how this thing works. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Albert Haynesworth is going to stop by the table. We'll do that next. 3HL broadcasting live from the SEC basketball tournament at Bridgestone Arena outside Section 118 today, 104.5 The Zone.
Are you a homeowner and you want to create your dream space? Look no further than Ferguson Home. They have the absolute best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting for any of your home projects. That's Ferguson Home. And they have visual comfort and company lighting too, where you can elevate your home with lighting that's timeless and beautiful. Luxury lighting with timeless materials, expert craftsmanship. They have whatever you need over there at Ferguson Home. If you don't know where to start, you just know you want a new bathroom or new kitchen or new lighting throughout your home. You want to get a beautiful finished project? Let Ferguson Home help you out. Book an appointment at their local showroom and get firsthand knowledge and personalized experts to help you every step of the way. And here's the good news. They have 5 different showrooms that you can choose from. Of course, the main one, 401 South Mount Juliet Road. That's in Mount Juliet, but also one in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Clarksville, and Bowling Green. Let Ferguson Home help you. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Go check them out at those showrooms or visit their website, fergusonhome.com.
What's happening, y'all? You know how life can change in an instant, right? A car wreck can throw everything off. Job, bills, peace of mind. That's when you need to call my good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law. Blair Durham and his team have been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. If you've been injured, listen, don't wait. Call BDIL. You know what that is? That's Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000. They're here 24/7 and ready to fight for you. Now, I'm telling you, you never can choose when an accident is going to happen. It just happens. And you got to have somebody right there ready to fight for you, give their all for you, let you relax and get paid, and be okay. That's why you call Bart Durham Injury Law. 615-242-9000. 24/7 relief. 615-242-9000.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you, broadcasting live from the SEC basketball tournament in the concourse, just outside section 118. I tell everybody today, you walk by us, you end up on the air. Albert Haynesworth walks by, former PFL, former Titan.
Love it.
Albert, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just coming to watch some games. I try to wear neutral colors. I don't think we got any green.
Yep, that forest green. I think you're safe there.
You didn't want to wear black and gold today?
No, like I was kind of pulling for, for Vandy, but hey,
I was too, honestly.
Yeah, because I can't stand TU. So
the other UT.
Yeah, so
Texas University.
The fake one is that? Yeah.
It's interesting while we sit here in between sections, like it totally clears out. Like it goes from 1 million people in the concourse to totally clear, and then 1 million people in the concourse. It's kind of a weird deal, but I noticed you had a little man with you. You guys digging some basketball?
Oh yeah, well he's the only kid I know that turns down going to the beach for spring break and wants to come to the SEC tournament. So
that
my
a boy.
9-year-old.
That's something.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is he okay? So let me ask you this: you obviously played the game at a high level for a long time. You let him play football. You want him to play football. You push for it, or
like he does play football. He plays all sports. He's a great wide receiver. He's had some very deep catches this year. Some touchdown catches. Winning the championship. He had a great. Probably a good 40-yard touchdown catch between two defenders. So I mean he's a great athlete, but his sport is basketball.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So do you encourage one way or the other, or do you just want your kids to play a bunch of different sports and how it happens? It happens.
I want them to play whatever they want to play, and then they figure it out. Just his sport. I think his mom had just a tiny bit to do with it.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure most of it comes from me.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Albert Haynesworth with us. Obviously NFL free agency going on, and it's well documented, your story. And we were talking with Jim Wyatt yesterday, and back when you were going through it and ended up going to Washington, 12:01 a.m. free agency starts. He broke the story at 3:47 a.m. I'm curious, what that process was for you. What was that like?
I was asleep.
So that was just your agent handling things, and
yeah, it was. I mean, he's like, hey, call me in the morning. I mean, it was probably 5 something in the morning.
So the story had already broken and you didn't know.
No, and then I turned on my TV.
Stayed up all night.
Yeah, I turned on the TV and it said, hey, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. Is that a good deal? And and then he was just like, yeah, it's a great deal. And I was like, why 41? Why not 45 guaranteed or something? And he's just like, you need to wake up. This is an amazing deal. You're the highest paid, blah blah. I was like, all right. And because I wanted to go to, if I didn't get a deal here at the Titans, I wanted to go to a big market team, and so, that was his whole goal. We had actually Tampa come in after.
I didn't know that.
And offered more, actually.
Wow.
What?
So, I would have loved to play for Tampa. If you go back and look at it, because, me being myself, in my head, I was thinking, I'm just a great defensive player, but I was more of a great defensive scheme player.
Yeah.
And so, when you go to a different team, a different defense, then it doesn't work out as well as you think it will.
That's what we've talked about. That what they ran schematically did not fit what you are great at or were great at.
Yeah, that's getting up the field.
Yeah.
Well, and then you have the owner, you have the president, you have your head coach saying, yeah, we're going to do the same thing the Titans did, and then you come in, I come in. And the defense coordinator say, no, we're not doing any of that.
Oh, my gosh.
So, to put it to people, so you go from a 4-3 destructive defensive tackle getting up the field to a 3-4 nose, basically, right?
Right.
How frustrating was that?
Extremely. Because I love to play the game. Again, like I said, in free agency, it wasn't about the money for me. I just wanted to be more recognized because we would do amazing things here at the Titans, and we're 13-3. And we get a little bit of pub on the ESPN and all that stuff. So my ultimate goal is just to to go to the Pro Bowl probably 3 or 4 more times and then be able to retire and hopefully be like for the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Albert Haynesworth with us live at the SEC
Who is the
tournament.
DC there? Remind me.
I'd rather not say their names. My mom said if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. So.
Well,
Got it.
You had a defensive line coach here named Tim Washburn. That guy, it's funny, like the creative drills that he would come up with for you guys. What was your relationship like with him? How did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, even to this day, I still love Wash. Like anytime I see him or if he tells me he's out somewhere, like I'm gonna go see him. I mean, he has helped me become the player that I was.
So, what was his style in terms of pushing you? Like, was he a hard line, hard nosed guy?
It wasn't,
because it looked like you guys were having fun a lot of times.
It wasn't necessarily pushing me because he knew I could take it up to like that level. It's just like just the details of the game that a lot of guys miss and don't see. And so we honed in on the details because everybody's out there. A lot of guys like defense. They're trying to trick the team and trick the offense and just do all this kind of just like this junk. If you literally just line up and play, and I mean you literally break it down to the small details, you will dominate. And like we ran, probably 4 or 5 defenses in the entire thing, and in our defensive front, we only ran 1 or 2. So there was.
But y'all were also that talented too, right?
Well, we were, but like again, like we didn't care what the offense. We didn't care if our offense switched their power or anything like that. We're going to do what we're going to do, and so we start making the offenses. We dictate what the offense did. And that was a thing that we did. The Titans that Schwartz like let us do, and that's how I say how he got a job, but he's a great coordinator. But he had the talented guys up front, and he had talented guys other places, and you see how it's worked for him.
Yeah, I remember at camps, like you guys and Schwartz at training camp when the public Washburn, when the public was there, they'd always put you on like the field furthest away from the stands because I'm like,
man.
You're still going to be able to hear Schwartzy and Washburn all the way over there.
Oh yeah, Wash is going to say, whatever he's going to say. I mean, it's funny, being with them. You see it like 7 years, so you almost hear it all. Yeah. And then like we got to like our, my later years here with the Titans. And then we'll have younger guys, and he's kind of like repeating these things, and they're not having the same effect. I mean, I just one little story. I thought it was just hilarious, and he'll remember this. He always like if we're going against a great offensive line, right? So he's gonna start quoting the Deliverance, Deliverance quotes. And
I just watched that movie. Actually, that's so funny.
So he's about the pig or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's saying things to our younger guys, and they don't get it.
Yeah.
And so like after practice, I was like, Wash. I was like, these guys are younger. They never heard or seen that movie before. He's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no. I said they've never heard of it or seen it. So we go in.
Squeal like a pig.
Yeah. So we go in after practice. We normally we'll watch our practice and stuff like that. No, he puts on the Deliverance clip, and I mean that was it. And then that game, you saw our younger guys have 4 or 5 sacks
they
that
got
game.
It.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that's so funny.
To put it in perspective, show them that movie. I mean, they dominated. So I mean that's the thing he can do.
Story.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing he could do. That's
but he needed you to tell him that the young guys aren't getting it, Coach.
But to stay young, you got to surround yourself with young people. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely,
that works for everybody.
That is great.
Albert Haynesworth with us on 3HL. You mentioned the 13-3, that 2008 season, man. It's easy to see in basketball when somebody gets hot from 3 and they're just in the zone. Dude, that year you were in a zone. And I've said that was the greatest, most dominant defensive tackle season in the history of the league.
Appreciate that.
What were you feeling? Like, how dominant? Like, you walk into a game and nobody's stopping me, right?
Well, that was our mentality. I wanted to show how dominant I was. You know, I mean, like the year before that, it was like kind of like the same thing, and I was just coming on my own.
Yeah.
And then like I think that like a lot of people was like, oh, you're just like doing this for your
Contract year. Everybody said that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was like my first time going out and stop. Nothing against our strength program, because Orderson is absolutely amazing. But I went out on my own, and I focused on just what I did. So I just focused
on explosive things.
Yeah, on the 5 to 10 yard explosion, change of direction, the quick, just explosive, and then like turn and run to the ball. So once we started doing that, that's when you saw like my game start changing, because like when you go working out with a team, you're gonna like, I mean, you got 50 guys, and you're going to be doing almost the same thing. I mean, the linemen, they're going to be running maybe 40 yards or this and this. So it was like it had to be more position specific for me, to where it's tailored just for me. And so I had a one-on-one trainer, Chip Smith, Chip Smith's son from Georgia.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what changed my game. That's the only thing I did different that changed my game.
That's fascinating.
You did that on your own. You figured that out on your own.
Yeah, I mean, just
so
do
you offer that advice to people? Like, do people come to you and say, "Hey, what should I be doing?"
Yeah, I mean, I do, and
they
then
should.
and I'm telling them like, it's just like little things and working out that what you do. Like, I mean, it's all just those little details that you do. Just like I say, bench press. Like you look at people, you look at guys.
How much can I bench?
Well, that doesn't even matter. But then you see how they bench. Most guys you see, they're benching like this right here, right? They're benching like with my arms out to the side.
Yeah.
But then like with me, I bench right here. So right here and here. So this is the same position I'm doing.
So that's where your punches.
Yeah, but my power my weight went down, but the power was always here. So
with the inside grip.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily inside. It's just instead of your arms flaring out, you break them by your side, and you're here and here, because this is where you're hitting at.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just think sometimes like the younger guys think they know everything. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I asked you.
Okay, old man, get off my lawn. Look at you.
Well, we heard that recently about a player, so that made
we did hear that. Yeah.
And it's funny, like some guys that develop later in the NFL, like you see it with some quarterbacks, like Sam Darnold in year 6, finally, blah blah blah. But I wonder if it's because some of these dudes just with an ego think they know everything, and then at some point you understand what. I don't know what I don't know, and I go get help, in terms of advice and things like that. So I didn't know if you were a mentor guy and people came at you, like maybe former Tennessee players or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, like Sweat. I seen Sweat just the other night out here, and man, I would love to get my hands on him. Yeah. I mean, I saw him. He's like, I'm going to be here. I love to get my hands on him to show him, because he has that body, that explosive. I mean, he's 340 pounds. Or probably a little bit more, and then
do you see a little of yourself in him?
Yeah, I mean, it can, but he has already that raw talent.
Yeah.
If I just showed him some of the details of things, same thing with Jeff too. If I showed them some of the details of this, man, they'll have the most explosive defensive line ever. But also, your coordinator's got to get out of the way and stop making these guys go sideways and all that stuff. You got these big, strong men up front; they need to go for it. And then your linebackers need to play off them. They're 5 yards back. Then they need to clean up the business, because they're going to destroy the front.
So, for the Titans, roster-wise, what's the key for them to be able to play that way? You know what I mean? Better in the middle of the field?
They need edge help.
Right?
It would be great to have edge help. But you also will flush the quarterback. He won't be able to sit in the pocket. And then also, the thing is, we didn't care if it was run or pass, because my first 2 steps are always going to be the same. So those first 2 steps, if you're knocking a guy back, all right, you already knocked the guy back a yard in the backfield. So it's going to be hard for a running back to cut. So now he's going to have to do an extra cut, like a bounce cut, and then hopefully, our linebackers or our DNs can fill in for that. So, I mean, it's literally little details that you can do to change that whole entire defense.
So we watch the game, we watch the ball, obviously, right? Like you watch it from a different perspective. You get frustrated sometimes when you watch like schemes on defense and think maybe some things should be done differently.
I mean, I do, but hey, like whenever like a home part of a team or on a team, then we can then it'll be different. But right now, I have no dog in the fight, so but I do love watching them play, and I'm just like, man, if I could just tell them these things. And I never want to overstep my bounds. If they ask me, I would 100% be there.
That's how it has to go, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe those guys will hear this, and T-Sweat's in the car right now. I don't know. But, man, he showed a lot as a rookie, didn't he?
Oh, very, very powerful guy. Very powerful. I mean, I tell you, like, just those little things that I teach him, you'll see a whole night and day next year.
That's interesting.
Remind me, what did you play at weight-wise?
My later years, I was about his size. I was probably 340 to 350 sometimes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember because, you're in shape and little and not little. But yeah, Albert Haynesworth's little. No, you know what I mean. I just couldn't remember what you played at back then. So
hey, take me back to South Carolina. You're playing high school football and recruiting and one of the top players in the country. And was Rodney Garner at Tennessee at that point?
No, he was at Georgia.
He was at Georgia. So was it South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee for you?
Heck no.
Okay, what was it?
It was like Georgia and Tennessee. Actually, Georgia was ahead. Georgia was ahead of Tennessee, and then that was pretty much it, to be honest.
It was Georgia and Tennessee. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah. And because Rodney Garner, a heck of a recruiter.
Yeah.
Just awesome. But to me, it's like Georgia seemed too good to be true. And then, like, connecting with Coach Fulmer, which I still have an amazing relationship, and then also connecting with Coach Brooks. And
Dan Brooks, man.
Yeah, like Coach Brooks, still, I love him. I talk to him like probably every holiday. He's out in like Sevierville hanging out.
I mean, people don't understand. Like Dan Brooks isn't your prototypical like this is a great recruiter here because he shows up in cowboy boots and all that stuff. But
like cowboy boots back then that were 30, 40 years old. So they're like 50, 60. I mean, he's like showing me elephant and ostrich and rhino. I mean, stuff you can't. There's just no way. I mean, no telling how much these boots are worth now.
So. It came down to Georgia, Tennessee. So, how close were you to going to Georgia, or like how did all that work out?
And what is the too good to be true kind of thing?
Well, and I wouldn't say like my visit, but like it was kind of like my visit. So
was Georgia playing Tennessee when you visited Georgia? Yeah, I was there that weekend, and we ran into Rodney Garner. And he was like, "We're gonna walk Albert Haynesworth into it was like an Applebee's or something." I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's
but
exactly
he felt good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was pumped. But we walk into Applebee's, and I guess the first place, literally, we get off the plane, like, because I flew in right after my high school game.
Okay.
And so, like, everybody's on the bus, and then I get taken to an airport and then take a private jet to Georgia, to Athens.
Yeah.
And so from there, oh, you hungry? We're going to go eat here at Applebee's. And not really me thinking about anything. All people's like, oh, hey, oh my God, Albert Haynesworth, like, man, hey, welcome to Georgia, da-da-da. Like, will you sign this? Like, sure, okay. And, not thinking about it, but it had like a few people to just say something.
Yeah.
And then there was like other places that said something. And then, like I was.
You thought it was kind of contrived a little bit?
No, I didn't really think of that because, like, from my, from small town Hartsville, okay, and then being like a, a highly recruited guy, like I saw that kind of all the time. But then, I don't know, it was just everything was just smooth and perfect, and it's not going to be like that every single day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great visit, but when I went to Tennessee, so the next week I go to Tennessee. I watched Tennessee play Georgia, and of course Tennessee wins that game. And then like they were good, hanging out, and still like no devastation after losing. And then I go to Tennessee, and they play Alabama, at Tennessee. Again, come right in after the game, and hanging out with guys, and like my host was Sean Ellis.
Oh yeah,
like big cat,
from South Carolina.
Yeah, who I've watched in high school.
Yeah,
so he was my host. They beat Alabama, of course, and then or like going out. And I mean, he was like it was like a big brother. This is a guy I watched. Like I watched a lot and see, Sean Ellis, Big Cat, number one in the state and all that stuff. So, yeah, he was
like
just
almost
a brother.
looked up to a little bit, right?
Still, even when I got to be his teammate, my 10th year in the league at the Patriots, it was like he's still now is still.
That's awesome.
We still have that respect. I mean, we send memes to each other all the time. So
yeah,
I mean, he's still my big brother.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about was 2001. So 9/11 happens, Florida game gets moved. You guys are 17-point underdogs in Gainesville. You were.
Wow.
You were 17-point underdog in Gainesville.
He just looked shocked.
And I heard stories about you guys watching game day and everybody picked Florida and you guys got upset and all this stuff. But what I wanted to ask you about was the Prowler package with you and John Henderson just kind of walking around the offensive line. Like, what was their reaction? How cool was that as a player to be able to just look that menacing?
Well, I mean, it was funny because – again, I'm just thinking about what we're doing and and all that. But then it's like I end up like this crazy thing. So like spring break later, that year, I end up just like kind of dating a girl from Florida who was a swimmer, and so I come up to Florida.
Might as well.
And then like I'm already declared and stuff like that. But like come up there and I was talking to I think Ernest Graham and they were like, dude, like, I mean, that's the first thing he was going to talk about. Man, how they got y'all big, walking around here. Man, we don't know what to do, where you're coming at and all that stuff. I mean, we knew what we had to do, but, like, it was just, I was like, I didn't know how it was going to play out, but, like, they were super
you can tell.
Freaked out over
that. I'm a body language guy. I mean, you can read their body language so easily. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Walking around,
and it's not like it's two players walking around. It's John Henderson and Albert.
It's like the two biggest human beings.
We just saw Big Joe the other day because Slay got put into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, and John came by because he's in, and it was good to see him. But man, it was fun to watch you guys back in the day. Gosh.
Oh yeah, I wish we could have teamed up one time in the NFL. It'd been great.
Right.
So Slay tells a story that you guys beat Florida. So for people that don't know, and you didn't know, 17-point underdog, you win the game. Travis Stevens went nuts.
Oh yeah.
Who lives in Nashville? Shout out Travis. But Slay tells a story about, like, you guys go back to Knoxville, and there's a huge crowd of people. And Slay was like, hell yeah, I was one of them. He's like, we hit it hard that night.
Oh, yeah. Like, we landed, and instead of taking us to the dorm, which is right there, they took us to the track. So the whole entire track field was filled. I mean, like a stadium.
With, fans and
with the fans
students,
and all that
everything.
stuff going in. Yeah. It was a great time.
Oh,
I didn't pay for any drinks that night.
Man, Al, it's good to see you, brother. Appreciate a little story time. We'll have to do this again in the summer and come in studio and we'll sit down for an hour.
Absolutely.
Big Albert Haynesworth, there he is, man. Enjoy basketball, and we appreciate you.
Yep, absolutely. I'm just got to take this little one right here, man.
Look how well behaved he is. He's just been hanging out the whole time.
I know.
No, he's an awesome kid. I mean, just amazing. I'm blessed to have him. And I mean, a super athlete. Like, in 5 or 6 years, you're going to definitely be hearing about him.
Yeah. I love it.
I mean, he this year, I just want to brag on my son a little bit, but this year, so he played. He's in the 3rd grade, and
wow,
he played.
He's tall.
He's tall.
And he's a guard. He's a guard. So he had 20 games. So he played 18 of them because he was sick. So his 20 games with no three-pointers, he had 319 points.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a baller. And
Where's he going to school?
Oh, you talking about college?
No. Well, Tennessee, right?
Oh, I know where he's going to college.
Oh, he says he's not going to Tennessee.
What?
Oh. Hey, hey.
Come on.
Okay, I don't know if Mama would be okay with that.
No,
right?
me and Brittany, we talk about it like, but it's not up to us. It's up to him.
It is up to him. I was just kidding, but you might want to have Phillip and Dan Brooks just show up in the living room one night, have dinner.
Oh yeah, he would say that. We'll do that. But yeah, he's an amazing athlete, and you're just going to see more of him.
It runs in the family for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Albert Haynesworth, appreciate it, man.
No, thank you for having me on.
Good to see you, brother.
Thanks,
all right, more 3HL next. 104.5 The Zone.
All right, yes, college hoops. Ooh, I know you can't wait for the big tourney, and we got a pretty big one right here in town. Zen Sports is who you need to be downloading on your phone, your app, because they have you covered with the VIP Players Club, big buckets, sweepstakes, and here's the deal. You can earn bonus bets on the tournament just by using the Zen Sports app right here in the month of March. And this sweepstakes is exclusive to us right here in Tennessee. Grand prize earns a $10,000 bonus bet on the championship game or a $5,000 cash prize, and 20 additional winners will get a $100 bonus bet or a $50 cash prize. So how do you earn entries? Everyday bet. On the Zen Sports app, you get an entry for that. You get an entry for every dollar you wager. You get 500 bonus entries if you are a new customer and you sign up with Dawn TN, DAWN-TN. Go ahead and jump in. Have a good time. What a perfect couple of days here to do it. Zen Sports, where betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Qualifying wager for wager entry must have minimum odds for any leg of the entry of at least 250. Minus 250 or worse American odds. Head to zensports.com/sweepstakes for contest terms and conditions. You got to be 21 and older in Tennessee to bet.
Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned. Gupton is your spot. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. That is where you'll find the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. That's where you'll find all the dealership information. GuptonMotors.com, address, phone number, inventory. They have a tremendous selection of pre-owned vehicles if you're looking to go that route. Everything online, GuptonMotors.com. 24 West toward Clarksville exit 35 is about 9 miles outside the city. Then it's a straight shot into the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Welcome back in 3HL and 104.5 The Zone, the finish of our 5 o'clock hour here. We are live from Bridgestone Arena for the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. And want to say that 3HL is powered by Ferguson Home. You can discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road, Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Go check them out, fergusonhome.com. Okay, so this place cleared out. Mayor
Yep.
Now it was empty, and now people starting to trickle in. And Kirby said there was a line all the way out towards 6th Avenue of people trying to get in here this night session.
This is the craziest Wednesday I've ever seen in the SEC tournament. They used to give away tickets for these sessions, and now not only are they not giving away tickets, people are paying hefty prices to be here, and it's full, man. And the environment is incredible. You've got LSU and Mississippi State tonight. Mississippi State favored by 8.5, and then the nightcap, Oklahoma and Georgia. And Georgia, 3.5-point favorite there. So Mississippi State and Georgia playing for seeding. Obviously, Oklahoma trying to make a run too. But you've got NCAA tournament teams playing on a Wednesday here at the SEC tournament in Nashville, and I feel bad for Vanderbilt. They'll get in, and it's incredible. You're talking about a team that won 9 games last year.
Yeah.
And Mark Byington comes in, and people buy into Byington, and
huge turnaround.
Yeah, and they not only that, they played a fun style of basketball. I just wish they would have been able to lock in on that 3 today, and they just weren't able to do it. But they did fight back late, cut that Texas lead. I think it was 17 at one point. Maybe it was more, but while we were watching and talking, I noticed a 17-point lead. But cut that down to, 6 or 7 late. And
I think it was 6 late, right? 6 with 2.5 to go.
And just couldn't get over the hump. But, they got done in by what, they've beaten people with, and that's a 3 ball. We'll watch Texas and Texas A&M tomorrow,
which is fun.
In the 2:30
you got to
session.
admit, that's fun.
Texas A&M's been trying to get away from Texas forever, and they can't shake them. 79-72 was the final. Texas with the win. Vanderbilt from 3 of 19. That is not them.
Oof. Yeah.
So Arkansas beat South Carolina earlier today. So you've got Arkansas and Ole Miss tomorrow. The winner will get Auburn. And then you've got Texas and Texas A&M. The winner will get Tennessee. So that afternoon session will feature a 1 seed and probably a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament on Friday. So that's going to be fun. It's been a fun day.
It's a good barometer of where you are, too.
Man, I was telling Albert Haynesworth during the break, I was like, man, I really like this Tavondre Sweat mentor program thing. That's your idea. For Albert Haynesworth to sit down and say, if I'm Tavondre Sweat and I hear him say, there are just a few, detail things that I can teach you, and it'll take your game into the next stratosphere. Don't you want to listen?
Absolutely.
So I told Albert, I'm all in on this Tavondre Sweat training program. I'm like, quarterbacks have quarterback coaches in the offseason.
A lot of receivers have their own receiving coaches.
Why shouldn't a defensive line coach have or defensive lineman have a defensive line coach that's separate from the team? So great talking with Albert Haynesworth. Man, those stories about 2001. He didn't know that they were 17-point underdog.
Yeah, did you see his face?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, what?
I think it made it even more impressive in his own head what they were able to do. Oh, man, it's fun.
He didn't pay for a drink that night.
We will be back at it tomorrow. Greg Cosell, Big Savager, Ramon Foster will be broadcasting live from Bridgestone Arena. We appreciate you guys connecting in with us and including us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.